Today's intersection in Chicago on game day here on the north side is, of course, Clark and Addison. And we're set for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Nice day for Cubs baseball. Wind blowing in. The first place Cincinnati Reds are here for the first of a 4-game weekend series. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. These two teams have met up twice previously, both times in Cincinnati, and the Reds won both series. They're probably playing their best baseball of the year, and why? Because they hit.
Boy, do they ever hit. They can hit home runs. They can manufacture runs. They have good speed at the top and the bottom of the order. They have great power in the middle of the order. You see where they rank in the National League among those offensive categories, near the top in everything.
One of the best trades over the last couple of years was a trade that was pretty widely panned, and that was Scott Rowland coming over from the Toronto Blue Jays at the trade deadline last year. Well, it's worked out this year for sure.
You know, I think they would have been content for Scott Rowland to come over and be an okay player, but provide the leadership they were looking for on the field and in the clubhouse. He has exceeded every expectation that they had for him. He has been a real producing offensive player in the middle of that lineup.
So the pitching matchup today, it'll be Travis Wood, a left-hander, making his major league debut, and Carlos Silva will go for the Cubs. On the updated National League Central standings, and tell you just how big a series this is, not only for the Reds but for the Cubs. For this reason, they're 9.5 out. Now Cub killer Joey Votto, who has reached base in 38 consecutive games. Second in the league with a .413 on base percentage. And you have to go back to the 44-game hitting streak by Pete Rose. He reached safely in 48 straight back in 1978. That was the previous longest streak in Reds history before Votto this season. And, by the way, has 18 home runs.
Oh, yeah, by the way. And he will steal a base if you don't pay attention to him when he gets on. He's been successful 7 times out of 11 attempts.
Two and one the count on the Reds' first baseman. He's done a lot of damage here. Knocks a base hit into center to keep the first inning alive for Scott Rowland. Since Scott Rowland was acquired from the Blue Jays last year, the Reds are 66-39 when he starts.
In the air by Rowland, deep left center field, and Bird, did he get it? He did not get it. And Votto will score. Rowland on his way to third base. Here comes the throw. It is not in time. An RBI triple by Rowland to give the Reds a 1-0 lead.
And Scott Rowland has a 2-out RBI triple.
A great effort by Marlon Byrd. The hanging changeup from Silva was absolutely clobbered by Scott Rowland. That ball hit right at the base of the basket, the top of the ivy. Great effort by Marlon Byrd, smashing into the wall there, trying to make the play, but you can see the ball drop down behind him. Scott Rowland, to his credit, never stopped running, ended up at third base. Corky Miller doing the catching today for left-hander Travis Wood. Get a look at his numbers at AAA Louisville this year. Apparently got off to a slow start, but has really come on strong in his last 7 starts at the AAA level. He'll tail a fastball. He'll cut his fastball. Good breaking pitch and a straight changeup.
Corky Miller caught the first pitch, which was a strike, and rolled it over into the Reds dugout for safekeeping as the 23-year-old Wood is making his big league debut. 5'11", 163. Two strikes on Tyler Colvin. Wood almost made their opening day roster. Came down to the last outing in spring training, and it was between Wood and Mike Leake. Wood had struggled with his command a little bit, so they picked Leake, who's been excellent. And here's Wood on the first day of July. A pop-up sending Cabrera out. Gomes in, and it'll be the shortstop who got a little help from the wind to make the catch.
Well, there are other things you can do. You know, you can step out of the box a little bit. Anything to just try to make the youngster think out there on the mound a little bit.
Derek Lee high and deep to left. Gomes back on the track. And again, another ball that would have been a homer on a different day, although the rolling shot would have been 2. A 9-pitch first inning for the rookie. 1-0 Reds. Called strike 3. He knew it. The 49th strikeout already for Ramirez, and the first career punch out for Travis Wood, outside corner and a strike. Got him on the outside corner for strike 3. 23-year-old southpaw coming back, and Ramirez swings and misses. Certainly acts like he's been here before. Scott Rowland throws out Jeff Baker. The Cubs limited to 1 hit and no runs through 6. It's 1-0 Cincinnati. Soriano high to center. Stubbs again. All 4 balls in this inning were hit to center. A 9-pitch inning. Man, has he been efficient today. Off to the 8th. 1-0 Cincinnati. The 2-2, a swing and a miss. We head off 2 extras in a 2-2 tie. Former Cub Miguel Cairo will hit for Smith. One ball, no strikes. Bird won't be able to get it until it hits the turf. Lays it on one hop. Cairo's on. And now Jay Bruce, and Lou's going to come out and probably bring in Sean Marshall, who is ready in the pen. And he'll face Jay Bruce, who's going to get a healthy dose of curveballs here. Double his first at bat, 0 for 3 since. Miguel Cairo, the runner at first. The Cubs in double play depth around the infield. In on the hands, fouled back. Colvin just able to knock it down. He had to be conservative there because if it gets by him, Cairo scores.
It looked like he really wanted to come in and try to make either a diving or a shoestring catch. But as you said, if that ball gets by him, Cairo scores. Cairo had a great read off of first base. He saw that sinking line drive and took off almost immediately for second base. You'll see him take his lead. Sees that ball, he guesses it's going to be down and easily turns the corner and goes on to third base.
Well, another tight spot for a Cubs reliever, as they have runners at first and third with 1 out. It's Drew Stubbs. You mentioned the strikeouts. This would be a good time for it. as the Cubs have to bring their middle guys in a little bit. Ramirez all the way in, edge of the grass. Lee holding on the runner at first. A-Rod with a game-winning 2-run homer.
And a roller to the right side. Throw to second. And breaking up the double play is Bruce. He is out, but the run scores, and the Reds have taken a 3-2 lead.
Wasn't really able to eyeball Stubbs going down the line, Bob. Do you think they would have had a shot at a double play?
I don't know. I was watching the play up the middle myself. Stubbs runs extremely well. That's the only thing that makes me think the Cubs might not have been able to turn that anyway, but it all becomes a moot point when Starlin Castro loses the handle on the ball. Hard slide into second base by Jay Bruce. Not so sure he would have been able to reach the bag there at second. Really went wide to disrupt Starlin Castro's relay throw to first.
First and second, one out. Tyler Colvin at the plate. Merrill dangles that right arm as he gets the sign. Ground ball to short. They get one. They get two, and that ends the game. A double play, and the Reds take game one in 10 innings, 3-2. We're at beautiful Wrigley Field. You see the lake glistening in the sunshine today as we kick off the 4th of July weekend with Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Game 2 of this holiday weekend series between the Reds and the Cubs. We welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. 3-2 Reds in 10, the final yesterday. So the Cubs now a season worst, 11 under 500 and 10.5 out in the division.
Well, it's been a struggle to say the least, Len, and part of that is due to the fact the Cubs have struggled against their own division. We're going to show you a graphic in just a moment as you get a look at the Central Division standings going into play today.
Yeah, the Reds a game and a half up on St. Louis. The Cardinals lost last night to Milwaukee. Cincinnati's played very well against the Central, 23-14.
Medina Lake with Here I Stand, Budweiser, it's what we do.
I see you rented out your pool today. Boy, you're a giving guy as Brandon Phillips goes deep and out just into the basket in the well area to make it 1-0. Leadoff homer for Phillips, his 10th of the year. It's also his 100th hit of the season.
Brandon Phillips, not your prototypical leadoff hitter. He's not going to bunt much. He will steal some bases if he gets on, but he can flex his muscles. He tucked that ball just inside the basket.
Ball 4. He has walked twice. Ball 4. Just trying to get a good grip here for a 3-2. Runner's not going. And a chopper not hit hard, and Fontenot can't get anybody out. Looked like he tried to apply the tag on Bruce before he had the ball, and the bases are loaded.
You would imagine Arroyo's going to take at least one strike in this particular situation. For me, Len, I think the Cubs ought to back their corner infielders up a little bit, play for 2 up the middle of the field. Arroyo's not going to bunt with the bases loaded.
Ball 4. So forces in a run, still no hits. And Arroyo gets his 7th RBI. Ball 4, another run forced in. Reds are not the most patient team. Middle of the pack in the National League in walks, but man, they have waited out Ryan Dempster and Brian Schlitter here in the 7th inning. The kick, the 1-0. That gets past. Here comes Hernandez. Everybody advancing a base. A pass last ball charged to Coy Hill, his second of the year.
He was expecting a sinker. He wanted that ball to move toward the outside corner. It actually was a cut fastball that moved the opposite direction, and boy, just couldn't react quickly enough. The ball hit off the webbing of his glove and goes all the way to the backstop, giving the Reds another run. Very subtle thing, but when you're anticipating that ball going one direction and it goes the other direction, that's tough duty for a catcher.
This has been a very ugly inning. 4 walks, an error, and a passed ball, and the Reds have scored 3 times without the benefit of a hit. Well, you always want to make a team earn it. And an intentional walk as Votto will head down to first. Here comes Scott Rowland. Get ahead. The Cubs haven't done that here in this inning. It bounced up the middle. There's their first hit of the 7th. It's going to knock into Arroyo, followed by Phillips. And just like that, it's 6-0.
You wonder why Scott Rowland has 56 RBI on the season. That's a great 2-strike approach right there with runners in scoring position. Just put the ball in play.
And speaking of Scott Rowland, when he has been in the lineup since he was acquired from the Blue Jays, the Reds are 67-39. Deep to center, right at the base of the wall. Votto comes in, and here's Rowland. 8-0.
Schlitter just grooved one right down the heart of the plate that time to a very aggressive swinger in Johnny Gomes. He sails it over the head of Marlon Byrd to straightaway center field.
Ball 4. Another walk.
Walk to Gomes in the second, but
that is crushed off the wall. And they're going to get 2 more. Gomes and Bruce score. So their 3 hits in this inning have all been 2-run base hits. 10-0.
That's what happens when you fall behind in the count to a major league hitter. You allow them to be very aggressive, look for one pitch in one zone. That time Hernandez got a fastball down over the heart of the plate and did not miss it. Line drive shot off the wall out there and left.
Boy, it's so frustrating when you give up 9 runs in one inning and 8 of them unearned. But Bob, you and I both have been there, and we know what it's like being on that field.
That's launched deep to right center for Joey Votto and gone. About 3 rows up. He has been a Cub killer in his career, and he just sent one out of here to make it 12-0. That guy can hit, Randy.
I want to tell you something. He launched that ball. That ball, I didn't think it was ever going to come down. But he put a great swing on that pitch also.
Yeah, he's one of the best hitters in the National League that a lot of people don't know about. Joey Votto gives you a good at bat just about every time up there to the plate, and this time he satellites one into the bleachers just to the right of straightaway center field.
Well, I tell you what, he really launched that pitch.
His 19th, he came in one behind the National League lead. So he has 19 on the year. And for the 5th consecutive series, the Cubs are on the losing end of a shutout, 12-0. A combined 2-hitter for Arroyo, Andrusic, and Owings. Well, this was a complete drubbing today. The Cubs struggled, Bob, in just about every facet, and that's why the final was 12-zip.
Well, we keep hoping that the Cubs are going to hit rock bottom and turn around and start their climb back to respectability. Didn't happen today.
Arroyo over Dempster. The Reds have taken the first 2 of this series, and we'll be back to Wrigley in a moment. Wrigleyville is adorned in red, white, and blue as we bring you an Independence Day edition of Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. It's a scorcher today, the wind blowing out, and maybe it will lead to a big offensive day for a team that certainly needs it. The Cubs try to earn a split in this series against the Reds. We welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. So we're set. It'll be Lilly against the All-Star, Brandon Phillips. Brandon Phillips replacing the injured Chase Utley on the NL All-Star team. The big surprise in the ballpark today is that Joey Votto didn't make the team. Let's just hope Joey Votto isn't too upset about the All-Star snub and decides to take it out on the Cubs. As Lilly knocks him down, Joey Votto has had a lot of success against the Cubs. He's going to have to dust himself off after this high and inside pitch. Has reached base safely in 41 straight. Calls strike 3. Joey Votto not happy with that Angel Campos call. Taking his frustration out on the home plate umpire, and he just got kicked out. How about that? Joey Votto gone. Slammed his helmet down. That's a big break for the Cubs. So Dusty will take up his cause. You be the judge. Pretty good pitch. The 1-0 on the way to Drew Stubbs. Towering blast. How far will this one go? On the wavelength. Well, Drew Stubbs was not in their lineup yesterday. His manager said he was hitting too defensively, lots of strikeouts, and he was very aggressive on that swing. It's 2-1.
Well, Stubbs hasn't hit for much of an average this year, but he has hit for some power. That's his 9th home run of the season. Cub fans will remember the grand slam he hit back at Great American Ballpark earlier this year. No doubt about this one.
He got it and launches one into right center field. Drew Stubbs throwing an exclamation point on an 8-run 7th inning. 4th of July fireworks indeed for the visitors from Cincinnati.
Response would be a little boost for this team. They had a team meeting the day afterwards. Drew Stubbs has hit 3 today. 14-3. Seven homers for the Reds.
And you're right about the way Lou has been forced to handle his pitching staff. We've seen the starters go a lot deeper into the ball game than they probably normally would. It's a slider that never slid. Stayed right there in the middle of the plate for Drew Stubbs. And well, today, at least, he knows what to do with mistake pitches over the heart of the plate.
Brandon Phillips backpedaling, makes a catch. The Reds take 3 of 4. The final today, Cincinnati 14, the Cubs 3. We'll be back in a moment.
stand against first-place teams. 3 with the Braves over the weekend, but we start with 3 with the Reds. Mets and Reds. First pitch coming up from Citi Field in just a moment. Starting lineup for the Reds. All-star Brandon Phillips leading off. Snubbed all-star Joey Votto hitting third. And all-star Scott Rowland hitting cleanup in the middle of the most power-packed lineup in the National League. 102 home runs through their first 83 games this year. Well, Dusty Baker didn't have the horses the last couple of years, but he's got the Reds in first place in the National League Central. First time the Reds have been in first place this late since 1999. And the Reds lead the Cardinals by a game and a half in that NL Central. Those two teams have been within 2 games of each other in first and second place every day since May 11th. So they've got a very early pennant race going in that NL Central with the other 4 teams not even a factor.
And Gary, you said it in spring. You said you thought the Reds would be the sleeper team in the National League, and there they are.
Here's Joey Votto having himself really an MVP caliber season, and it is one of the most stunning all-star snubs in years that Votto was not selected for the team. He hits one well to straightaway center, chasing Pagan back for a look, and that ball is out of here into the home run apple. Joey Votto with a long home run to center field, his 20th of the year. And if he needed to burnish his credentials anymore, he's just done so by making this yard look small.
Well, that's a big 3-point play right there. The Canadian. Boy, oh boy, that's impressive. He just smoked that ball. First pitch from Pelt, right down the middle in his wheelhouse. Right down Broadway, and oh boy, belt high. Boy, did he turn on that.
Votto's 20th home run. He now has 58 runs batted in. And it's 1-0 Cincinnati. Just the 7th home run Mike Pelfrey's given up this season. Brandon Phillips leads off in the 5th inning in a 1-1 game. Each team with 4 hits. And Phillips lines a base hit into left field. So for the 3rd time in 5 innings, the Reds get the leadoff man on against Pelfrey. And they've got a fast man aboard in Phillips, who has 10 steals this year. The Reds, for a team that hits a lot of home runs, they do enough running.
It's nice to see that Reds have a good team again.
Birthplace of professional baseball.
The Queen City, right?
Queen City. As Murph used to say, great place to get your hat blocked and your shoes shined. There goes Phillips, hit run play and perfectly executed by Cabrera. And the Reds will have runners at the corners, nobody out, and Joey Votto coming up. Well, you can't throw it up any better than that.
Well, you got a guy that can handle the bat. Look at the inside out here. This ball's coming in on his hands, and look at him inside out and stay level, and just poke that ball to the right side of the infield, and they're in business.
So the Reds poised to try and take the lead. Votto gave them an early lead with his 20th home run of the year. Straight into the apple housing in the 1st inning. Cabrera runs. Votto takes ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Pelfrey, unable to command his fastball late in that at bat, issues his 4th walk of the afternoon. And the Reds have the bases loaded and nobody out, and Scott Rowland coming up with 4 career grand slams. 2-2. In tight, and it tipped the bat at strike 3. Or did it hit his hand? Wait a second. What's the umpire?
Strike 3.
He's out. That's what I thought he said. Rowland was going to first base thinking he was hit by the pitch, but Jerry Meals said it was a foul tip held by Barajas for strike 3. And we'll get an argument here. Dusty Baker eludes the bat boy and heads out to talk to Jerry Meals. It's the first strikeout of the game for Pelfrey, and it comes in a huge spot.
I thought he swung. Yeah, it got him in the back form. He didn't swing either.
Well, it definitely didn't hit the bat. What Meals called was a foul tip held for strike 3, and it definitely was not that.
He did not swing. That is not a swing, and he got hit in the forearm. Mets catch a break.
Now the umpires are conferring. They might overrule this.
I don't like it when the jury stays out a long time. I like when the jury comes back quick. Oh, they changed it. Oh, here comes Jerry.
Well, that'll give the Reds the lead. Rod Barajas is extremely hot. David Wright trying to move him out of the way before Barajas gets ejected. And now Jerry Manuel will certainly get himself ejected. But the players have got to keep their cool and stay in the game. Let the manager take the heat. They're really letting him go, which means that they understand that what they've done is rather controversial here. I don't think I've ever seen that particular call overruled. And now finally Manuel's been run out of the game by Dan Iasonia, the second base umpire.
He's got to be run here. He had to get run.
Drew Stubbs, who with 3 home runs yesterday in Chicago, has been up twice today and walked both times, the second time intentionally.
Not this time.
Hit hard toward the home, base hit. That'll bring in Cabrera. Votto right behind him. Base throw to the plate, not in time. A 2-out, 2-run single for Drew Stubbs. And the Reds now lead it 4-1. And Pelfrey is still hot at that last ball call that didn't get him to 2 strikes.
Well, the toughest RBI is the 2-out RBI, and a tight ball game even more tough. Let's see the pitch. It's inside. He just didn't get a lot of sink on it. Nice hitting by Stubbs. Mike, you got to back up home plate.
So 3 runs have scored in the inning. Corky Miller is the 8th man up in this inning. 1-1 to Miller. Line the other way. And a fair ball going into the corner. That'll bring home Roland. Stubbs around third. He can fly. He'll score easily. A 2-run double for Corky Miller has stretched the Reds lead to 6-1. So Miller, who had driven in only 4 runs this season, takes one right down the right field line, and the Reds now have themselves a 5-run 5th inning.
Well, Miller, third time is a charm. First 2 at bats, left men on base. Too much plate. Stayed up. The ball stayed up too, Gary.
One and 2 to Wood. And he hits one well to center field, chasing Pagan back, and he can't get it. Miller scores. Wood steaming around second. He's sprinting for third. Wow. And Travis Wood, the pitcher, slides in safely with his first career triple, his first career run batted in, and the wheels have fallen off for Mike Pelfrey. It is 7-1 Cincinnati.
Pagan playing shallow, has no chance. I noticed Wood last time he grounded out the first base. He ran hard down the line. Watch this kid fly. Tell me he's not an athlete. He's quick.
Well, that's going to be all for Mike Pelfrey for the second straight start. He exits after 4 2/3.
Here's a drive hit back into right center field. That baby is going to be out of here. And Joey Votto has his second home run of the night. A line drive home run into the bullpen in right center field. And the Reds now have an 8-6 lead. And Votto leads the National League in home runs.
Second home run of the game for Joey Votto. Think he's an all-star? Yeah. 8-6 Cincinnati. 21 home runs for Joey Votto.
That's impressive power from Votto.
Second multiple home run game of the year for Votto. Well, he's used to playing in a bandbox in Cincinnati where you can hit it out to all fields.
But you got to respect Davis's power. We know he's got pop. 10 home runs.
Popped up, shallow left, long run for anybody. Nick's coming in. Out goes Roland. Catch! A big play by Scott Rowland coming down over his shoulder on a very dangerous looking pop up for the second out.
How about this catch? Where's the left fielder? I know he's playing D, but I've never seen a third baseman go out this far in my life for a pop-up.
Normally, if anybody's going to get it, it's going to be the shortstop. But Rowland, a Gold Glover, makes a tremendous play for the second out.
That is big league right there.
So the Mets are down to their final out of the night with Jason Bay coming up. Jason 1 for 4, drove home a run with a first inning single, hit a bullet his last time up that Roland caught. And a check swing foul ball, 0-1. Bay is 0 for 4 in his career against Francisco Cordero. The Mets are 11-2 this year in series openers at home, but they're down to their final out of this one, trailing 8-6. And Bay hits one in the air to left field. Nick's playing back on the warning track. He's got a long way to come, and he makes the catch, and the ball game is over. Well, the Mets were down by 6. They rallied with 5 in the 5th, but they could not get a hit after the 6th inning, and the Mets fall 2 runs short as the Reds take the opener of the series 8-6.
Well, as advertised, these Reds, they can hit, and they showed that. Also, they play defense, and they showed that tonight. This was a real hard-fought game. And, of course, that one call, the umpires are getting booed on the way out here, Gary.
Well, we had a reversal of a call that changed the game in the 5th inning. The game was tied. The bases were loaded. A strikeout was called on Roland. It was reversed to a hit batsman to force in the go-ahead run, and the Reds never trailed after that as Mike Pelfrey melted down in that 5th inning and wound up giving up a 6th spot.
New York in the summertime. Lots of folks head off to the Hamptons or the Catskills. Lots of tourists in town to take their place. No better place to be. No easier time to get a restaurant reservation than in July and August in New York, or to come out to Citi Field. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Cincinnati Reds. Mets baseball is presented in HD by IOTV. Get your HD free with IOTV. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets play the rubber game of their 3-game series against Cincinnati.
Here's Brandon Phillips, who hit a bullet right at David Wright for the first out of the game.
Joe Morgan's here tonight, the Hall of Fame second baseman, the best second baseman in that I saw in my 17 years by far. 2-time MVP. Talking about the Reds' turnaround, he was the happy as a clam. He's an old Red. What a trade that was when they got Morgan. He traded Lee May, Tommy Helms, and they got they got someone else beside Joe out of that.
Well, Morgan had been in Houston for what, 7-8 years before he went to the Reds, and he'd been a good player.
And Phillips launches one and gets him again to tie the game at 1.
Phillips ties the game with his 12th home run of the year. Second time he's taken knees deep this season, and the game is even at 1.
Well, we told you, Met killer right there.
Now Phillips is going to be a first-time All-Star this year, and he continues to play like one.
Well, he crushed that ball. There was no doubt when it went out. Before it went out. When it went off the bat, there was no doubt.
So the first hit off Nice, just like the first hit off Arroyo, leaves the yard. And now Chris Heisey, whose catch prevented the Mets from scoring the go-ahead run in the last half inning. When that ball first came off Jason Bay's bat, it did not look like Heisey had a chance to run it down. But he is known as a scrappy player, and he scrapped to the ball. Up and away for ball 1. Heisey was robbed in his own right on a terrific play by Alex Cora back in the 2nd inning. Well, last night, Johan Santana gave the Mets 9 innings, and with Nice's pitch count so low, he could be headed in that direction again. In the air to left field, pretty deep. Back goes Bay onto the track near the wall, and it's out of here. Chris Heisey, after making the catch to keep it tied, unties it with his 5th home run of the year. And Cincinnati takes a 2-1 lead.
Wow. 2 hits, 2 home runs. This is the catch to end of the inning to save the run. And then how about this? A cutter that he turns on. Stayed flat. See, folks, up and stayed flat. He got under it too much.
Well, Chris Heisey now has 5 home runs in just 62 major league at bats. The Reds are a home run hitting team, and they've hit a pair tonight. Phillips and Heisey, their only hits, and that's been enough for a 2-1 lead. 1-1 to Drew Stubbs.
Watch the IOTV pitch differential. It's going to be up. He got it inside. Maybe not enough inside, but up. And stayed flat. Hitter gets a good read on that flat break. There's the down one.
Slow ground ball, and Wright's going to have to let it roll, and it's going to stay fair for an infield hit. Wright knew with Stubbs' speed he had no chance to throw him out. So it's an infield hit for Drew Stubbs.
Didn't David have a play just like identical like this earlier in the series? He did.
Got to cut that grass differently. Let that ball go foul. So Miller retired for the second out, and now Bronson Arroyo steps in. Arroyo has been up twice and struck out twice. And he tries to bunt, gets it over the mound into no man's land, and Wright can't make a play. A bunt single from Bronson Arroyo. I'm not sure if he quite intended it that way, but his 80-foot bunt works perfectly.
Boy, it's like an L wedge here. I mean, he couldn't do that again in a million years.
He's not even smiling.
He wouldn't be alive in a million years, but
that's a good point. Well, now a crisis moment for John Neese, already down in this game 2-1. With 2 on and 2 out, and Brandon Phillips, who has been a tough nut for Neese to crack, coming to the plate.
It's got to be a cutter here, something.
3-2.
Breaking ball hit hard down the right field line, and this ball is a fair ball to drive into. Oh, it's a ground rule double, and the Reds get a bad break right there. What a great at bat that was for Brandon Phillips, his second RBI tonight, and it's a 3-1 game.
Bronson Arroyo, who started his career with the Pirates, has had all sorts of roles in his career. He's bounced around and had good years and bad. Off the fist toward the middle, but over goes Phillips, makes the barehanded play and throw it out. Wow! Brandon Phillips putting on a show. We've seen this before. Brandon Phillips, a multi-talented player, and he has shown off all his facets tonight. Well, we talked about this last night with Wright. How much more comfortable he's gotten with 2 strikes as this year has gone along. Back to where he was back in the early part of his career, a terrific 2-strike hitter.
Good time for Arroyo to drop down sidearm, and they want to come in again. Oh, wow.
Here's the 1-2. The runner goes, and it's hit off the fist toward the middle, plucked out of the air by Phillips to end the inning. With both middle infielders moving toward the bag with Pagan in motion, that put Phillips in the perfect spot to catch it. 3-1 Cincinnati. Bronson Arroyo.
First pitch fastball down, sinker. One chase. Hanging curveball, pulled foul, 0-2. Fastball meant to be up and in, didn't get it. Then they got it that time. And they came right back in with a little sinker, and then came right back in with a nice running fastball up and in. Now that is some aggressive pitching right there, getting out the hottest hitter on the planet.
So Arroyo is done after 8 innings. Got that huge out to end the 8th. 99 pitches for Arroyo, in line for his 7th win against 2 losses career against the Mets. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat to Cora. And a high fly ball along the right field line. Jay Bruce drifts over. And the ball game is over. The Reds take 2 out of 3 from the Mets. Great pitching by Bronson Arroyo tonight. He went 8 innings to beat the Mets for the 7th time in 9 career decisions. Cincinnati takes 2 out of 3. Great game for Brandon Phillips as the Reds win it 3-1.
Well, Arroyo continues his dominance over the Mets, now pushes his record to 7-2 career against the Metropolitans, and #1 hitting a ball club in the National League. Well, they got kind of turned off a little bit here. They got shut out last night, only got 3 runs tonight, but they take the series. The Braves are coming in, and Mets get an off day. Big series with the Braves coming up, and that's the big hero right there. Boy, he just did it with the glove and with the bat. Drove in 2 of the 3 runs at a home run.
But the feeling all around the Phillies hasn't been quite the same. The tough 20 games in 20 days stretch to the break is becoming tougher by the day. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. The next 4 days in July will not get any easier with another team that is red hot stopping by. The last time the Cincinnati Reds won the National League Central, it was 1995. Well, as play begins tonight, game 1 of a 4-game series, the Reds sit atop the Central as they get set to take on the Phils. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Gary Matthews will be along a little later on. Things have gone well for Joey Votto of the Cincinnati Reds. We learned just a little while ago that he is the final representative to the All-Star game for the National League, and he certainly deserves it.
Yeah, nice job by the fans and all the people that voted. They got it right. Joey Votto does deserve to be in the All-Star game. Charlie Manuel knows that and was really upset that he wasn't able to put him in there, but now he is. This is what he did against the Phillies last week. He sure knew that one was gone off Brad Lidge. That was a long one. Center field tied the game in the 9th inning. Phillies would eventually win that game, though, in extra innings. Then the next day, Roy Halladay was pitching really well. He tried to throw that back foot slider. That wasn't even close to being a strike, but a lot of times left-handed hitters can just hit that pitch down and in like that and pop it out of the ballpark. That guy is a heck of a player. Against the Phillies last week in the 3-game series, 6 for 13 with 5 runs batted in. He is really, really good with his on-base percentage overall, as he was in that series, and he is now an All-Star. He and Charlie had a nice little chat around the cage as the Reds were coming out for batting practice and the Phillies were finishing up. There were smiles, handshakes, and all, so everything's fine, it looks like.
Well, he comes into this ball game leading the National League in home runs with 21. The Phillies will have to contend with him, and the guy that will have to contend with Joey Votto and the Cincinnati Reds, Kyle Kendrick, who tonight will be opposed by Johnny Cueto for the 2nd time this season. So 2 outs, and here's Joey Votto. He is the National League leader in home runs with 21, and he's 5th in RBIs. And he has 2 homers this year in 3 games against the Phils, and he is just having a torrid season.
Yeah, and he was voted in as the extra guy for the All-Star team, and got it right. He's a guy that should have been.
Well, they got it right in the National League. I'm not sure if they got it right in the American League. Nick Swisher won the American League vote over Kevin Youkilis. Youkilis is having a very good year. Now, he's injured anyway, so they're not sure whether he's going to be healthy enough to play. And with the other injuries, he may still get the selection. But it's Swisher in the American League and Joey Votto in the National League.
Joey Votto and Charlie Manuel had a nice little chat around the batting cage right when the Phillies were finishing up and the Reds were starting BP tonight. And Charlie felt bad that he wasn't on the All-Star team. And I don't think anybody was rooting harder for Votto other than, you know, his close friends and all that than the Phillies manager, because he thought he should be there and he wanted him there.
2-1 the count, and Kendrick fires in the air to right field. Pretty well hit. Jason Worth's going back, and Joey Votto has homered again against the Phillies. That was a long one. And the Reds take a 1-0 lead. They take a page out of the Braves book from the 3-game series between the Phils and Atlanta, when the Braves scored a first-inning run in all 3 games.
Boy, that guy is something. The Phillies have to watch him for 4 games this week. Joey Votto is just such a hot hitter. Looked like a sinker. Oh, my. Down a little bit. Oh, the left-handed hitters like those. And that's, as Tom said, that's a long one. That's up in those smokestack area out there at their ballpark.
Drew Stubbs, the batter, with 1 out. And Stubbs lines one to center. And that's a base hit. So he's aboard with 1 away here in the 8th. And Corky Miller is due up. Runner goes. Pitches hit the opposite way, right past Ryan Howard. Stubbs didn't realize it. They deked him, and he'll stop at second. So big spot. 2 on, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th.
Basically fastball changeup. You wouldn't think he'd change right now. This guy will chase up, too, with fastballs once in a while.
The runners lead off. The pitch. He swung on and missed it. It goes past Schneider. It's rolling back behind home plate. Stubbs is coming home. Nobody's covering. Oh. And the Reds have just tied it up. How about that?
Boy, there's some bad plays here tonight. You know, just on both sides. Now, Madsen sees that it's back there. He thinks he's got a shot to come and get it, but it died behind there. And, you know, Madsen's got to stay at the plate, or one of them has to stay there. And great base running. I mentioned how fast Stubbs hit. Here it is, a changeup. He strikes him out. Kind of pancaked that one. Now, Schneider can't find it. Now he goes for it, but Madsen is already, you can't see him, but he's already back at the wall. Nobody's there. There it is. Now you get a good look at it. Now watch what Madsen does. See, he's pointing. Now he comes for it, but Snyder doesn't know he's coming for it, and they leave home plate unattended. He's facing the guy that got him last time. Right out of the chute now he's going to get Joey Votto. See, Lidge has converted 40 of 42 career saves at this ballpark. Last week he got this slider in the middle of the plate. Bam. Joey Votto tied the game up.
Bradley Phillips was over at third on that homer. And Brad said after that ball game it was like a wake-up call. Can't just throw sliders. And last time out he threw a lot of fastballs. So here we go. Top of the ninth. Phillies lead it 3-2. Joey Votto tonight is 1 for 3. And he hits it hard and he's aboard.
It wasn't even a strike. He just threw a high fastball there, and that guy tomahawked it in the hole.
Well, now Cairo, who has 2 hits and 5 at-bats against Lidge for his career. And he's ahead 1 ball and no strikes. The tying run is at third. 2 outs here at the top of the ninth. In the air to left center field. That's going to get the tying run home. Votto scores from third. Cairo's trying to stretch it for 2, and he's at second. An RBI double. It's a 3-3 ball game.
Wow. I think he had a heck of a chance right there to get out of this, getting Bruce to hit in that double play, and Miguel Cairo. That's why these guys are where they are right now, because everybody's helping out. You know, Cairo gets that thing out over the plate and hits it in a perfect spot in the gap in left center.
The Reds have 27 come from behind victories this year. They've tied it at 3 in the ninth. Here's Brian Schneider. And Brian takes a fastball for strike 1. Brian 0 for 4 tonight. His last time up, which was in the 10th, he flied to center. That one's in the air, deep down the right field line. It's a bullet, and it's gone. And the Phillies have won it here in the 12th. Tonight it's Roy Halladay taking the ball for the Phils. He'll be opposed by rookie left-hander Travis Wood for the Cincinnati Reds. And again, it is the lefty Travis Wood, who's making just his 3rd major league start of 2010.
He's done pretty well so far. He pitched a very good game at Wrigley Field. You see the opposition's only hitting 186 against him. Right-handed hitter's 162. He's a pretty good changeup. Tries to run his fastball away. That's our scouting report on him from Southwest Airlines, 2nd round pick back in 05, and he has a real good idea for a rookie. We saw him pitch at Wrigley Field in that first game right after the Phillies got home, and he looked really good in that. And for the first time in a while, the Phillies come up, Tom, and they're not trailing.
Yeah, the first time in 6 games the opposition did not score a run in the first inning. As Roy Halladay got the 6-4-3 double play started by J-Roll. Jimmy 3 for his last 24, just 1 for 7 in the series, with 4 homers and 16 runs batted in. And that one's in the air to left field. Johnny Gomes not playing that deep, goes over toward the line and puts it away. So 1 away. Travis Wood took the spot in the rotation that would normally belong to Aaron Harang. Harang, after pitching against the Phillies, went on the disabled list with back spasms. 1-2 the count to Jason. And a call, strike 3. Came back on the inside part of the plate, and the side is retired in order. Nothing across for the Phils. We've completed 1. We go to the 2nd. Johnny Gomes is set to lead things off for the Reds.
Watch his delivery, how compact he is, but then he kind of jumps at the hitter a little bit. There's probably some deception involved.
I guess there would have to be, since he's not going to overpower him.
No, and he's right around the plate. saw him pitch that game at Wrigley Field. He was really impressive that day in his first major league start. And, this is his third. And we'll see how he does against the Phillies today. But so far, you can see why they like him.
Outside, 2-2. Wood's last 8 starts at AAA. We mentioned that he was 5-6 overall with a pretty good ERA. He was 4-2 with a 1.62 earned run average.
Yeah, the reports they have him between 88 and 94, depending on how he wants to throw it. So he's got plenty of fastball.
And a call, strike 3. James Hoy thought it was right at the knees. And there's 1 out. Second strikeout for Wood. Swing and a miss, a high fastball that tied him up.
There's that sneaky fastball that I'm talking about. That ball he got up there at 92, but had it in a pretty good spot as he surprised J-Row with that.
Jason hits it in the air to right. Over toward the line. Bruce might have a play. He does in fair territory. And the side is retired. So a strikeout, a line out, and a pop out to right. We're through 4. And Travis Wood, he has a lot of hit or base runners. We go to the 5th. 0-2 the count to Cody Ransom. Swing and a miss. He tied him up. And the side is retired in order. 5 strikeouts for Travis Wood. That was the cutter. So he threw everything at the kitchen sink at the Phillies in this 5th. He retires a 1-2-3. He's had a no-hitter, a perfect game that he'll take at least into the 6th.
I believe that one, that's for sure.
On the outside corner. Called strike 3. That's 6 strikeouts for Travis Wood.
Right, he's putting those balls in just a great spot. Again, keeping them out of the middle of the plate. Boy, we don't need to see any. Oh boy, I got to tell you, that's a pretty good pitch. Unless he thinks it's low, that ball had plenty of plate for me.
Well, you see the comparison between the 2 pitchers tonight. 11 strikeouts and 3 hits combined. The only 4 base runners in tonight's game have come by the Cincinnati Reds. The Phillies have not had a base runner. The count, 1 ball and no strikes to Roy Halladay.
Well, you can see so far as the game going on, he's having more and more confidence and getting balls again in good spots. At least that fastball he's been throwing in good spots. Breaking ball, he's kept it in on the hands.
And a call,
wow.
Strike 3, back-to-back strikeouts, 7 in the game for Travis Wood. He has gone 6 innings tonight, and so far he is perfect. In fact, his placement has been perfect. It includes that strikeout. Well, we go to the bottom of the 7th.
It's really going to do me a lot of good.
Jimmy Rollins in the air to center field. Drew Stubbs coming in, and he makes the catch. On a night where Travis Wood has thrown a perfect game, there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Shane Victorino just showed bunt on the first pitch. Philly's just trying to get a base runner here.
Yeah, not only is he throwing a perfect game, but it's nothing. You're trying to get a run and win the game.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. Now the Phillies, it's a perfect game, so they haven't had a base runner at all. There's no walks, there's no hit batters. Dusty Baker hasn't really had to stir too much from his seat.
Third time around now against this kid.
Shane hit it hard his last time up. He lined out to third.
Oh, he hit a rocket right at Cairo.
And a pop-up. First base side, Joey Votto into foul territory. He's got to play on this one. And there are 2 outs. Well, Travis Wood so far has been spectacular.
Yeah, he sure has. And, you could see early on that, that he was jamming right-handed hitters, that he had command of a lot of different pitches. He's got some guys upstairs like that. He's cut the ball in well on right-handed hitters. He's gone away. There's only one left-handed hitter in the lineup tonight, and that's Ryan Howard.
Ryan Howard's on deck. Jason Worth is up now. Swing and a miss. He got him. A 1-2-3 7th inning. Travis Wood has 8 strikeouts. More than that, he has a perfect game through 7 innings tonight here at Citizens Bank Park. 1-2-3 go the Phillies. 21 up, 21 down. Not only is Travis Wood throwing a no-hitter, he's throwing a perfect game.
but it's a scoreless game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Travis Wood's line so far, 7 innings, 8 strikeouts. No hits, no runs, no walks, no hit batters, nothing. And the Cincinnati Reds, their last no-hitter was Tom Browning in 1988. Of course, Johnny Vandermeer had back-to-back no-hitters in the 38 season.
The last opponent against him, was Rick Wise.
Yep.
And Rick had 2 home runs in that game.
Hey, Wheels, they have to put in 10-plus inning no-hitters because this is a scoreless game as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
George Culver pitched a no-hitter for them. George Culver later became pitcher for the Phillies and their minor league pitching instructor for a long time.
Well, here we go. Bottom of the 8th inning. 4, 5, and 6 due up. Ryan Howard leads it off. He's 0 for 2. And now time is called.
That's a long time not to have a no-hitter pitched against you. Since 71. Last guy to do it the Phillies was Bob Forge.
Swinging at the first pitch. A pop-up. Shallow center. Cabrera, the shortstop. 1 away. Ryan, who was the hero in last night's game. Well, there were so many heroes in last night's game, but he was the ultimate one with the walk-off home run.
This thing was so high. Now, Cabrera knows he has to catch this, and he's calling for it, but his head is saying, oh, why can't somebody call me off this? That was so high. Not a lot of wind. That was the only thing he had in his favor. But they can be tough.
Well, particularly one that Ryan Howard hits because you said it was high.
So high.
Ben Francisco has grounded out twice. Once to short, the other time to Brandon Phillips toward the middle. He's ahead 1 ball and no strikes. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. This kid has kept the ball off the barrel the entire night. It's kind of the same way that Roy Halladay has pitched in tonight's ball game. Just keeping the ball off the barrel of the bat. Line drive toward left, right at Johnny Gomes. He hit it hard, but there are 2 outs. Could be the hardest hit ball the Phillies have had tonight.
2 of them, that one, and you go back to Shea Victorino.
Shea Victorino, yep.
Line drive to third. They really haven't hit it hard off this kid. That ball was hammered.
Well, tonight on Sports Night, you get highlights and a recap of this game. And we're at PPL Park for highlights and reaction to the Philadelphia Union showdown with the San Jose Earthquakes. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Toyota Sports Night after the game on Comcast Sportsnet. 2 outs for Cody Ransom. He's grounded out and he's struck out. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. One swing can turn the tide of this game in so many ways.
It's just a great game. Now he's at 0-0. You're dealing with a guy throwing a perfect game.
Two and 0 the count. There has never been a season where 3 perfect games have been thrown.
This should have been it already.
This should have been it already. Besides this year, there's been one other season where there have been 2 perfect games thrown. In the air down the left field line, towering shot, and that's going to hook foul.
That's a good swing by Cody Ransom. He got a 2-0. Figures he's going to get a fastball. He just got out a little bit out front. There's that Pascal Perez one. That was rained out after 5 innings count. I remember that. But the Bob Forsch one was legit, although there was controversy in that over a hit or not. An error given to Ken Reed, so some people thought should have been scored a hit for Gary Maddox.
Change up and a strike. I wasn't sure if they were going to ask for an appeal, but instead
he called that a strike.
Yeah, Cody just said, did you call that a strike?
Yeah. Just do a 2-1 changeup over, according to James Hoy, after he just almost hit a home run.
He's allowed just 1 homer in his 2 starts. And a pop-up. Shallow right field. Brandon Phillips heading out. He's under it, and he makes the catch, and Travis Wood is perfect through 8 innings tonight. He has faced the minimum. 24 up, 24 down. We go to the top of the ninth. It's a scoreless game. Worth it. Travis Wood, a perfect game, but it's a scoreless ball game into the ninth.
Well, he's just been really good. Hasn't given up anything. They've hit a couple balls hard off him. Shane Victorino a line drive. Ben Francisco a line drive. And in the 7th inning, and here are the 3 outs. A shallow fly ball by Jimmy Rollins. Victorino got himself out there. 2-0. He chased a high fastball, popped it up. And then Jason Worth struck out, and that pitch may have been outside, but it was close. Now in the 8th inning, Brian Howard hit a big league pop-up right there, and Cabrera broke in his glove with it. There's the ball that Ben hits. A BB, but right it goes. And then another shallow fly ball. This one to the second baseman, Brandon Phillips, and Travis Wood strolls off with a perfect game through 8, and here he goes to the 9th. But there are no runs in the game.
A scoreless ball game. Carlos Ruiz, Juan Castro, and then you figure a pinch hitter. Perfect games by rookies Lee Richmond and Charlie Robertson. One from the Ruby Legs. The other one from the White Sox. Carlos with a pitch way outside. It's 1-0. Now the Ruby Legs was significant because 1880 was the last time there were 2 in a season. I never heard of the Ruby Legs.
Never heard of the Ruby Legs. Nope.
Until this year.
Yep. Just until right at this moment.
Carlos has grounded out. He's popped out. And he's being patient. It's 2-0. Now, I don't know what's more unnerving. The fact that there are guys loosening up behind you on the mound, or the fact that you have a perfect game into the 9th in a scoreless ball game.
Well, it's a big game for them to win. You know, they don't want to lose the game. They want the kid that, oh, there's a lot going on here. This is fun. You know, you know, they're starting to worry about his pitch count a little
Absolutely.
bit. He's a rookie.
2-0 the count to Ruiz. And there's a strike, and it's 2-1. By the way, you saw Charlie Robertson from the White Sox. He threw a perfect game in his 3rd major league start. This is Travis Wood's 3rd major league start. There's the ball into the gap in left center field. That's going to be the first hit of the night for the Phillies. The first base runner of the night. And nobody's covering second, so Carlos slides in safely.
What a game. What an unbelievable job by that kid. And now they got to come out and talk to him, I think.
Somebody does.
Got to talk to him right now, because the air could go out of his balloon, and that's what the Phillies hope happens. Carlos did a great job getting the count to 2-1. He got a fastball and crushed it. Never a doubt that's a double. Right up the alley to the 387. Cut off nicely by Stubbs, but a double off the bat. And watch his reaction. When he sees where that is, he knows all that stuff's over right now. Now here comes pitching coach out to talk to him.
Yeah, Brian Price.
Got to do that.
Waited a little bit. They're having the conversation off the mound.
Well, there's all kinds of things to talk about now. I mean, you're trying to keep his head in the game, and you're also talking about what the Phillies may do here. And obviously, you have to think about a bunt.
Well, and the first thing the Phillies are going to do is Wilson Valdez is going to come out and pinch hit for Juan Castro.
Well, he handles the bat better.
Said he hasn't really been swinging the bat well against the lefty. He squares, and he bunts it in the air. That's going to be the first out. Raul Ibanez will pitch in. 23-year-old from Arkansas is ahead 1-2 to Ibanez. In the air to center field. Through Stubbs on the run. It'll stay in the park. Ruiz is going to tag from second. He'll go to third, and there are 2 outs.
Almost 3 in a row.
Never happened before. Phillies have never had 3 straight walk-off homers in a row.
That pretty well.
And now it's up to Jimmy Rollins to get Ruiz home from third. 3-2 the count to J-Roll. And he popped it up. Foul territory. Can he get out of play? Votto is overlooking, trying, and he makes the catch on top of the camera. Wow. He got to the spot just in the nick of time, and the Phillies strand a runner at third. They break up the perfect game, but can't get the victory. So, for a third consecutive night, we're going to extra innings here at Citizens Bank Park. A little defense from Joey Votto to finish off the inning.
Don't have to be fast to have a good walking lead. Well, he just faked him back.
Line drive, base hit into right field. Ruiz is around third, heading for home. And for the third consecutive night, the Phillies have beaten the Cincinnati Reds in extra innings on an RBI base hit by J-Ro. So here's Cairo pitching it. Swinging at the first pitch, it's a pop-up. Shallow right field. Valdez gives way to Jason Worth, and the Phillies have held the Cincinnati Reds scoreless for the last 21 innings, and in doing so, they have swept out Dusty Baker's Reds.
Hollywood is the home of movie stars. Well, tonight, 35 miles south is where baseball stars align for the Midsummer Classic. It's the third time the All-Star Game visits the Big A. The NL won here in '67. The AL got it done in 1989. So who will be the hero tonight?
From the Cincinnati Reds, Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto, Scott Rowland, and Arthur Rhodes.
And there are plenty of changes. Brian McCann stays in the game. He'll catch the rest of the way. Scott Rowland takes over at third base. David Wright is from Quo. Hard hit to the shortstop Ramirez, who throws to third, and the tag by Rowland. 2 out. Hanley Ramirez with an aggressive play for out number 2 here in the 5th.
And not good base running by Joe Mauer. The rule of thumb is if the ball is hit to your right, you stay at second. That ball was hit to his right, and he's out at third.
And you look at some of the changes defensively for the National League. Brandon Phillips at second base. Rafael Furcal at short. Randy Johnson in 04 with the Diamondbacks. Runner going. And a stolen base, and then out as Andrews came off the bag. So it's a strike him out, and in the end, throw him out. Double play as Andrews is tagged.
Now, you can see Brian McCann, the double clutch. He went ahead and threw it. And a good play by Brandon Phillips to stay with the tag. Andrews, I think he thought the ball went through. We talked about David Wright earlier, not seeing the ball. But watch how Andrews steps up, doesn't know where the ball is. Phillips did. Tagged him out.
It goes down as a caught stealing. 2-4. Here's a swing and a miss by Scott Rowland. It's his first at bat. Counts 2 balls and a strike. Rowland up. Matt Holliday on deck. American businessmen to come along in the last 50 years. Here's a base hit into center off the bat of Rowland.
Well, to give you an idea of how good a businessman he was in 1973 of that $8.7 million.
Base hit by Rowland, who's such a big part of the Cincinnati Reds' success as they lead the Cardinals by a game, and Matt Holliday of the Cardinals fouls one out of play.
And you have got to tell the story of what Rowland told you about A.J. Pujols.
Well, obviously Rowland played for the Cardinals, and he was friends with a lot of the Cardinals. And when Rowland showed up here to go into the autograph room to sign memorabilia, Albert was in there with his son A.J. Here's a fastball that misses outside, a ball and a strike to Matt Holliday. And A.J., Albert says to A.J., "A.J., you remember Scott Rowland?" And A.J. said, "What are you doing here?" Like, how did you become an all-star, Scott Rowland? And he is very deserving here in 2010 as that pitch is low for ball 2 to Matt Holliday.
Out of the mouths of babes.
And Rowland laughed. He said, I mean, how honest is that? And how real is that? I mean, he's undergone a couple of shoulder surgeries. His power seemingly was gone from his swing, and that's not the case anymore.
as Holiday chases it from Phil Hughes, who's from the area. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Matt Holiday getting his first at bat. Andre Ethier, who started and is still in the game, is on deck. Tying run at first with 1 out here in the 7th. And the 2-2. Back up the middle. Back-to-back hits. Rolen is going to turn and go. The throw by Torrey Hunter is wide. And Rolen, known as one of the best base runners in the game, takes an extra base, and he's 90 feet away with 1 out.
John Vukovich, third base coach for the Philadelphia Phillies, passed away about 3 years ago. And he told me when Scott Rolen was with the Phillies that Scott Rolen, because of his foot speed, was the best base runner he had ever seen. And that's years and years of coaching experience and as a third base coach. And he does it again.
He ran on the 9-time Gold Glove Award winner Torrey Hunter in center. And now the tying run is 90 feet away. Matt Thornton coming in from the White Sox as the NL threatens. The game, Brandon Phillips wearing a mic yelling out to Torrey Hunter when Scott Rolen went first to third.
Yeah! Yeah! That's what we do in Cincinnati. We go first to third, baby.
That's what Rolen did. That had his teammate Brandon Phillips excited in the dugout. Now McCann swings at the first pitch and fouls it down the right side, just out of play. So 2 hits against Phil Hughes. Thornton came on to get Young on a foul out, but then lost Marlon Byrd, and now the bases are loaded for McCann.
Speaking of losing it, it was tough for the hitters to see when this game began. It's tough for the outfielders to see on fly balls right now in the twilight.
Here's the 0-1. Ripped into the right field corner off the bat of McCann. Rolen scores. Tie game. Holiday scores. NL leads. Here comes Marlon Byrd. Brian McCann has unloaded the bases. 3-1 NL.
The biggest National League hit in 13 years. Brian McCann got a fastball and hammered it down the right field line. Byrd trucking from first, scoring rather easily, and the National League takes the lead.
They lead by 2. Thornton is out. McCann excites the National League dugout. First at second on a ball that fell in and right. Now Buck is running. Here's a fly ball into right center, and there's Young. The National League wins it 3-1. And the celebration in the outfield between a Houston Astro, an Arizona Diamondback, and a Chicago. The National League wins for the first time since 1996. It is a beautiful sunny night. Yes, a bit on the hot and humid side, but we're ready for baseball and ready to begin the second half of this 2010 season. The Reds starting play with a weekend series. The Colorado Rockies in town, and Bronson Arroyo will start game 1 after the All-Star break. And hi again, everybody, alongside the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio. Cowboy, are you ready for the second half?
Well, I do admit it. I am a Reds fan, and I tell you what, I'm as excited right now as I have been, and I don't know how long.
Well, let's look at what's going on as we begin this mythical second half of the season. 92 games down, 72 to go. And you take a look at the Reds, a half game better than St. Louis, who started play after the All-Star break last night with a win over the Dodgers. Those are our standings presented by Honda. Through the first half of the year, Jeff, A lot of good things to talk about, but certainly the offense is front and center.
Well, I think that they are, and I think they're allowing this Reds ball club to be in every single ball game. Even when they're down 3 or 4 going into late in the ball game, you've got a club that continues to come back and continues to claw and fight and keep everybody with a chance in their mind to win the ball game.
As far as the defense is concerned, it's been outstanding the entire year. Pitching is what everybody's thinking about right now because there are so many weapons with Edinson Volquez coming back tomorrow night.
Well, I think right now, Tom, the starting pitching is not a big worry for this ball club. I think when you talk about worries, it goes right down into the bullpen, a place where we thought we would have the ultimate security. Right now, that security is a little bit shaky. We got to get it going and get it going now.
So the second half begins with Bronson Arroyo against the Colorado Rockies, and tomorrow night, you better believe it, the return of Edinson Volquez. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Johnny Gomes left 2 on ending the first inning with a tapper down to third. He has Votto out at second with 2 outs. And a number into center field, and this is going to fall, a hit and an RBI. 2-0 Reds in front.
That was a little bit more of a controlled swing than what we saw the first time around. He gets inside of this baseball. He doesn't get it right on the fat part of the bat, but he gets enough of the good part of the bat on it to get it into center field.
There's very little doubt about that. That one is into left center field. It's a 3-hit night and 3 at-bats for Brandon Phillips. And Randy, the final out. I guess team standpoint, you were always a team guy. There goes Phillips running, and this one is hooked deep into left field, and Phillips is on his way. Up against the wall, Brandon being waved around, and he will score on the double by Cabrera. So the Reds extend their lead. Now it's 3-0.
Well, there you go.
There you go. If he's not running on the play, it's second, third.
And when you have enough speed to score from first base, you see Stubbs do it, you see Phillips do it, Cabrera can do it. These are the kind of things that you look back and they're never going to be another club like you guys had in '90, but you guys took it to the other team. And that's what you're starting to see out of this club. They know they can do it. They're just starting to really push the envelope a little bit.
And now the Reds are in a world of trouble. They are loaded with nobody out. Dexter Fowler, right-handed, is a .290 batter.
And he can fly, so doubling him up is going to be difficult.
He is a .205 batter, left-handed.
You see the numbers right there, and that's 27, 28 ball games. That's not just 4 or 5 at-bats.
Popped up. Who wants it? Jay Bruce. This will not score the run. That's a big out right there for Arthur Rhodes. One away in the inning.
Huge out. Tom, we talked about it before this ball game ever started. If there's another club around in the National League that fights all the way to the end of the 27th out, we're playing them tonight.
Jonathan Herrera now the batter. Herrera a switch hitter as well, but he's been very good from each side of the plate.
And he can motor down that line as well.
There you see his number. He is a guy generally who does put the bat on the ball. The Reds' corner infielders are tucked in because Herrera likes to bunt. Inside and low, ball 1 to Jonathan Herrera.
And this is also another subject that we talked about coming into this game, Tom.
This is where the bullpen has really got to step to the forefront for this ball club. You can't let another club in the door. You've got to keep the door closed and bolted.
Now the crowd getting behind Arthur Rhodes. Strike 3 called on the inside corner.
That is a veteran pitch, my friend. The kid is looking for a ball out over the plate to protect. Watch where this pitch comes. Right on the inside corner, just below the belt line. And in this league, that's a strike.
All right, now you have a left-handed batter in Carlos Gonzalez coming up, but don't be fooled. His .321 batting average against left-handed pitching is second only to Adrian Gonzalez among all National League left-handed batters.
You've still got to make pitches with this guy at the plate. Yes, you do have an advantage lefty on lefty, but you have to make your pitch.
Reds lead by a run. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. Strike 1.
And you could see Arthur Rhodes heated up a little bit. That's the hardest pitch he's thrown yet. Well, he's really overswinging, Tom. Gonzalez, a .211 hitter with the bases loaded. Watch this swing here. Front side, pulls off. Hips already open, and that really slows your bat down. That's 2 pitches in a row that he just came unglued.
One ball, 2 strikes on Gonzalez. The door is slammed shut. One and 2 to Stewart. Strike 3 call. Arthur Rhodes and Francisco Cordero nail it down for Bronson Arroyo in a 3-2 win.
Boy, what a big picture for the second half. A great start right there. A magician performance by Arthur Rhodes, and then here's Cordero pumping it inside all the lefty. I love those inside pitches.
And Dusty able to pump that fist and then shake hands to celebrate a win. 3-2 to begin the second half. We're back with more from Great American Ballpark in a moment. The story tonight for the Reds, the return of Edinson Volquez. Only 9 starts all of last year. His season ended in May. And, of course, he underwent Tommy John surgery, and here he is making his 2010 debut tonight. Now, Jeff Brantley is sitting downstairs behind the plate. And, Cowboy, you will give us a special vantage point through the front 3 innings for Edinson Volquez tonight.
Well, Tom, where I am sitting is almost directly behind home plate in the diamond seats. I'm about 4 or 5 rows back. you can actually see where I'm going to be sitting right now, and I'm straight down the pipe from where Edinson Volquez is going to be bringing that 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So not only will I be able to tell you what is going on, I'll be able to tell you how and why, what is going on with Edinson Volquez on the mound, with the breaking ball, with the fastball, and the changeup. Tell you what, folks, it's going to be an exciting night for baseball tonight. I'm looking forward to it. How about you, Tom?
I cannot wait, Cowboy, and we're going to be hearing from Jeff from right down there through the first 3 innings of the game tonight. Barry Larkin will be joining us in the booth during the game, but front and center is Edinson Volquez when we come back. The Reds have taken the field at Great American Ballpark, a sellout crowd tonight. The Reds a half game in front of St. Louis going into play at the start of play today in the National League Central. It's been well over a year since he made a major league start. How do you think he feels right now on the mound?
Well, I think, Tom, a lot of it going on with Edinson Volquez right now has got to be adrenaline. You're looking at a packed house here. I mean, there's no seat to be had in this ballpark. I had to move mountains, or at least Karen Forgas did, for me to get into this seat behind home plate to get such a good seat to watch Volquez. But the thing that I do remember, Tom, is when Volquez first came to the Reds. First 8 starts, he didn't even give up more than 1 earned run in any of those first 8 starts. And as you remember, Tom, he was absolutely dynamite, and that's what we're hoping for tonight.
His first full year as a Red, a National League All-Star in 08. Went 17-6 with an ERA at 3.21 that year. And then last year, just the 9 starts before his season ended with a trip to the disabled list and a pair of surgeries to his throwing right elbow. So Edinson Volquez delivers the first pitch, and it's a fastball, strike 1. And this game is underway. Volquez's first start in the major leagues since June the 1st of 2009. 2-2 on Seth Smith. 2 outs in the inning. Beat him with a fastball out of the strike zone, and that'll end the inning. A 22-pitch opening inning for Volquez. He allows a run on a couple of hits. The Reds are coming to bat when we return. 1-2 on Ian Stewart. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Mercy. That's 3 strikeouts in a row now for Edinson Volquez.
You talk about the bottom falling out of a breaking ball. This is the part that we missed when Volquez was around the first time. He didn't throw a whole lot of breaking balls. That one there started in the middle of the plate and ended up on the back foot of Ian Stewart. He had no chance to hit it. Probably should have just let it go. But the thing looked like a fastball until the last second.
So Edinson ahead 0-2, and a swing and a miss on another breaking ball, and that will end the inning. He fans the side, allows a hit. Reds down 1-0. Stubbs at 236 with 11 home runs and 43 runs batted in. This sellout crowd looking for something to get excited about. Stubbs trying to give it to him right here and right now. In the air, down the left field line. Is it enough to get out of here? Get excited!
Tom, that pitch looked like it was an off-speed pitch out over the plate. It looked as though Stubbs was going to be a tad early, and for some reason he was able to keep his hips cocked and didn't open the hips until the last second and just flipped that baby out of here. That's the kind of pitching that, if we're going to get that from Volquez, that's a #1 in any league at any time.
2-2 the count on Ian Stewart. He's got to be wondering what is coming now. Oh, my.
That's all, folks.
Oh, my. Welcome back, Edinson Volquez. That's strikeout number 6. 2-1 the count on Drew Stubbs. This one driven into right center field, hit pretty well. Back to the wall, Gonzalez goodbye. A second home run for Drew Stubbs. Thirteen home runs on the year now for Stubbs, and that makes it a 4-1 game.
Tom, that was a pitch that he had fouled off earlier in the at-bat. A fastball down and away. The fastball that he hit out was a fastball in. So De La Rosa tries to go back away from him again, and he looks like he's on the Cub path now. He's looking for 3.
3-1 account on Brandon. And a high fly ball in a deep left center field. Brandon Phillips can touch them all. A 3-run home run in a 4-run fourth inning.
Tom, that pitch was about belt high, middle of the plate, and these people down here went berserk. Not as the ball went over the fence, but as the ball took off from home plate. Oh, my goodness.
And that's going to be all for Jorge De La Rosa.
Made mistakes, guys that have been good. Oh, my goodness. Tom, I'm telling you, he's getting better and better. That breaking ball starts in the heart of the plate, and the bottom comes out of it. Not only did the ball drop straight down, the ball was driving away from the right-handed hitter.
In the air, and Johnny plays long ball. Home run number 12 for Johnny Gomes. And the 4th home run tonight by Cincinnati.
Down here, Tom, the home runs look a whole lot different. It's almost as though a 747 is taking off on the runway. I mean, they just lift off and gone into the fandom way out there in left field. Wow. Is good, but this breaking ball that he's throwing out there, it is nasty.
And there's 94 gas to Fan Gonzalez, and that's strikeout number 8 in the game.
When you're throwing a breaking ball or a changeup that is so good, and you get it into the minds of the opponent, they'll never catch up with 94 and 95, and they have to look for the fastball. So when they're looking for it, they're going to swing at it out of the zone. Looks as though he's setting up a curveball here, Tom.
You caught it, and that's strike 3. 9 strikeouts for Edinson Volquez tonight.
Well, it's an off-speed pitch. It didn't end up being a curveball, but it was a changeup that ran back over the inside corner, and that fooled Hop big time. We saw Hop early in the ball game take 2 changeups away. Well, Volquez makes the adjustment. Instead of throwing it outside where he knew he would take it, he throws it inside and lets it run back over the plate for a strike, because Hop is going to take an off-speed pitch no matter what. See you later.
Well, the 9 strikeouts, the most in an opening start of any season in the very young career of Edinson Volquez. 95 pitches in the game for Edinson Volquez, and he now tries to put Smith away to end the inning. Two on the way. On the ground is second. Phillips will handle it. Inning over. Cowboy.
Woo! That's good. That's hot. That's nice. That's what I'm talking about.
6 innings of 3-hit, 1-run baseball from Edinson Volquez. Freeze can. Stuff, and more stuff. Edinson Volquez. Don't know for sure if his night is over. In fact, now we take a look, and he's due up second man. Lance Nix is coming out to the on-deck circle and receiving congratulations from teammates. And why not? What a spectacular 2010 debut for Edinson Volquez. And why not smile, young man? You've worked so hard to get all the way back here. He allows a run in the first inning on 2 hits. He allows a hit in the second inning and does not allow a hit over his final 4 frames. What a night for Edinson Volquez, and what an even bigger night for the Cincinnati Reds, knowing he is back in their rotation for the final 2.5 months of this regular season. Swing and a miss, and the Rockies are down to their final out of the ninth. 3rd strikeout for Smith.
That's that straight down breaking ball again. Fingers on top. And fingers down, thumb up. You hear that a lot of times when you talk about breaking ball action. Fingers straight down, thumb straight up. You get that top-like spin on the baseball, and the bottom falls out of it.
So an out away the Reds are for making it back-to-back wins in this series over Colorado. Spilbor's bats for the second time. He lined out to right his only at bat in the 7th.
And it'll be the first win of 2010 for one Edinson Volquez. Long time coming.
And boy, it's nice to have him back.
Oh, brother.
In the air left field, and this will do it. So for the first time since May the 5th of last year, when he beat the Florida Marlins in Miami, Edinson Volquez is a winning pitcher in the major leagues. Welcome back indeed, young man. 6 innings of 3-hit, 1-run baseball, and that's the way you want a guy to come back.
Well, he had a lot of adrenaline going early in the ball game, but after that first inning, Tom, he was about as masterful as you could possibly be against an awfully good offensive team in the Colorado Rockies, and he just flat shut them down.
All righty. So the Reds will go for the sweep tomorrow. We have more still coming your way from Great American Ballpark tonight. An 8-1 Reds win. Another hot summer night in downtown Cincinnati. Welcome to Great American Ballpark. It's game 1 of a 4-game series between the Washington Nationals and the Cincinnati Reds. And the Reds are hoping to jump back into first place by the end of play in the Central tonight. And hi again, everybody. Alongside Chris Welsh, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball on Fox Sports Ohio. Four, 5, and 6 in the Reds batting order against right-hander J.D. Martin. Jones, Bruce, and Cairo. No score in the game. Only one base runner for either team. And the Reds have their first base runner. A leadoff single here in the second by Johnny. Runner goes again, and Bruce draws a walk.
He's not looking real comfortable out there right now. When your fastball tops out at 86 and you have to throw a strike, not a good feeling. I've been there.
So what do?
You throw him a hook. It's probably how he got in the big leagues anyway.
3-2 on Cairo. The runners don't go, and it's ball 4. So a guy who had walked in 40 innings, 5 batters all year long, has walked back-to-back hitters after a leadoff single by Gomes to load him up with nobody out.
Now, he's pitching scared right now, and it is so obvious to everybody. He should be in the ballpark, certainly now to our viewers, and obviously in the dugout as well. Now, think about this, though. If you're Drew Stubbs and you're the scheduled batter in this inning, and there's Jim Riggleman, the manager, we're a little worried right now about the status of his starting pitcher. But if you're Drew Stubbs, you're thinking, you know what? I know he just walked 2 batters, but I'm not going to sit around and wait. I think he's going to want to establish a fastball. He just had a little lecture from his catcher. Come on, let's go get this guy. If I see a fastball waist high, I am all over it if I'm Drew Stubbs. Ready to leave my shoes swinging after him.
They're loaded with nobody out. And he was ready and shoots it down the right field line, and it will fall in a base hit. 1 run is going to score. Now the Reds are running themselves into trouble, although they get away with it. As a throw from right field, Willie Harris gets away from Adam Dunn. 2-run score. And wow, the Reds, they make a break and they catch a break.
Well, anybody who's watched the Washington Nationals know that they've had big-time problems defensively. Drew Stubbs takes the first one he sees the other way. Nice bit of hitting right there. The right fielder Willie Harris comes over and he fires the ball back in, and it gets away from the cutoff man. That was a very weak effort by Christian Guzman to try to go get that ball. And it also got away from Adam Dunn. So the Reds, who are going to be hung up with a couple of guys in no man's land between bases, end up scoring 2, second and third. It all comes out swelling great for the Reds. And the Nationals got to be wondering, what the heck? The Reds are trying to give us a run on a base pass, and we're not even there to take it.
Well, you made the call about Stubbs being ready to hit, and give him credit. He didn't try to jack one into left field and knock it out of the ballpark. He just put the ball in play and gets a 2-run double on it.
You know, his 2-home run game the other night, I was talking to him about it before the ball game. I said, you know, Drew, the most impressive thing was that a pitch just right there, he hit out of the ballpark to right field. And a pitch that was a changeup, almost in the same spot, he pulled into left field for a home run. That's staying inside the ball right there, staying right on it, not trying to pull off of it.
2-0 now on Ryan Hanigan.
Well, if you can only get Jay Bruce and Drew Stubbs hot at the same time, it would relieve a lot of the worries the Reds have right now about scoring runs.
Good start tonight for Jay. Drew a walk and has scored a run. Miguel Cairo stands at third. Drew Stubbs at second. And it's ball 3 to Ryan Hanigan. Very good numbers this year for Hanigan, with runners in scoring position. And he takes ball 4. The third walk of the inning. Cueto 4 hits and 30 at-bats, yet to knock in a run. But he couldn't have a more golden chance to do that than he does right here and right now. They're loaded with nobody out. And a liner that eats up Guzman against a drawn-in infield, and 2 runs are going to score. And the Reds lead it 4-0 on a 2-run hit by Cueto. The advantage man of the drawn-in infield.
Oh, you just try to make contact. And Johnny Cueto, who's really improved at the bat. This ball, you know what? Christian Guzman, again, could have gotten in front of that ball, blocked it, at least gotten 1 out of it. And 2 misplays, in my mind, from him this inning have kept the Nationals on the field, given the Reds 3 runs now. And the defense, which has been the Achilles heel of this ball club all year long, continues to be. But who cares? The Reds are up 4-0 right now, and they're rolling right along.
Now it's time for the Coors Light Freeze Can. Brandon Phillips high in the air to snatch it away and deny Christian Guzman of a base hit in the 6th inning. And that was our Coors Light Freeze Can, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Well, welcome back to Great American Ballpark. We played the first 3 innings tonight, then had a 42-minute rain delay. So that's why it's a little after 9:30 Eastern time. And we're moving into the bottom of the 6th inning. They're already in the bottom of the 7th inning in St. Louis, where the Cardinals have an 8-4 lead over Philadelphia. The Cardinals have not lost since the All-Star break. Swept the Dodgers 4 in a row and lead the Phillies with 2 innings to play at Busch Stadium tonight. Johnny Gomes. First pitch breaking ball takes a hack and rolls it foul. Strike 1 to Johnny, who has singled, scored, and popped up to short right field. Hammered into deep left center field. Way bye-bye, Johnny Gomes. That's home runs in 2 of the last 3 games now for Johnny.
Well, he was way ahead of a curveball on the previous pitch. That looks like a little bit of a cutter or slider, and he sped up the bat of Johnny Gomes just right on that. You know, on the sweet spot and back in deep into the seats in left center field. But certainly, in his recollection, too close to take.
Hit a ton by Miguel Cairo. Goodbye into the second deck. Home run number 3, and it gives the Reds now a 6-2 lead. That's his first home run since May the 29th against the Astros. He's had a lot of big hits though between then and now.
He really has, and he's been a great fill-in addition to this ball club. Coming off the bench, giving Dusty Baker a weapon that you can go to every day. Turns on a high fastball right there. Unjams J.D. Martin into the second deck.
And here comes Jim Riggleman. If the season ended today, there's your wild card leader. About to go to 52 and 42 if Cordero notches a final out.
Well, that's got a chance to be a good race right on down to the end.
You ain't lying.
Wow. Of course, the Reds have yet to visit a lot of those teams right there. Colorado, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, of course, in the driver's seat in the West right now. A lot of great baseball to be played.
It is going to be a fun final 2 months and roughly 10 days. Hit hard in the right, and the Reds now officially 10-0. They jumped in front early with a 4-run second. The lead whittled down to 2. They scored twice in the 6th inning on home runs by Gomes and Cairo. Tacked on a run in the 8th. Well, after about an hour's worth of rain, the skies have cleared considerably in downtown Cincinnati, and we're going to start on time tonight. We welcome you to Great American Ballpark for Game 2 of this 4-game series between the Washington Nationals and the Cincinnati Reds. And there's a leadoff walk to Cabrera.
She's been riding the pine.
Back-to-back walks to begin the game.
I don't think that the fact that Paul Giannis has had such little playing time has anything at all to reflect on his ability to be a big league player. No, I think it's just the fact that he's around other guys that are a little better, they're a little more advanced, and right now they're playing so well, why make a change?
But you give that young man a lot of credit, boy. When they have called upon him to play, he has played very, very well. All right, now Joey Votto. 2 on, nobody out. And Votto looks at a strike.
Joey made himself a couple of very easy outs last night. Chased first pitches in the at-bats. A couple of change-ups, pop balls up. Really didn't look like he was in sync. Let's see if he can time something off of this right-handed rookie.
0-1 to Votto. And it's a ball and a strike. Joey only 2 of 14 since the break. And is yet to drive in a run. You got to wonder if those 3 guys, and really I should take Rolen out of the mix because he has missed virtually the entire time since we came back from the break with illness and then the hamstring injury. But I got to believe that, you know, Joey Votto and Brandon Phillips have to be a little bit tired. They were playing every day on that 11-game road trip, hot weather in Chicago, New York, Philly. Then they travel across country for the All-Star game, come all the way back, and then right back in the lineup.
That's the first thing I thought about after the All-Star break is these guys have had no break at all. Especially with the cross-country travel they had to do. The Reds left Sunday night from Philadelphia. Joey Votto and Brandon Phillips and the rest of the All-Stars ended up getting on a plane and going to Los Angeles, where they had. And there's no rest during All-Star week. The rest of us sit around and watch a game on TV, watch a home run hitting contest, but they're signing autographs, doing interviews, constantly being asked to do things, appearances, the kind of things that tire you out.
2-2 on Joey. And a high fly ball into left center field. Morgan drifting. Goodbye. Well, there's a wake-up call for Joey Votto. A 3-run big fly in the opening inning.
In this at-bat, it just seemed like Joey Votto was a little more patient, deliberately more patient, knowing that he would eventually get a decent pitch to hit. Atalano puts the ball up and out over the zone, and Joey Votto parks it about 2 rows deep. And that means 3 big ones for the Reds.
Number 23 for Votto, and he is now tied for first atop the National League in that category with Prince Fielder of the Brewers.
Oh, there's a smile.
All right, now Mike Leake again against a drawn-in infield. Leake 14 for 37 as a batter. The best hitting pitcher statistically anyway in the National League this year. Just ahead of Arizona's Dan Herron. Stubbs, so Leake with hit number 15 on the year drives in his second run, and it's back to a 3-run lead for the home team.
Well, if you're Mike Leake, you want to make contact, and he has only struck out 8 times all year long. This is his 39th at bat. He just takes a little swing, takes it right into the outfield, drives a run in, gives himself that 3-run cushion that he had at the very beginning of the ball game.
2 hours and 40 minutes officially our rain delay here tonight. Ground ball. Cabrera is there and throws out Desmond. 2 away in the 9th inning, and Adam Dunn coming up. And boy, the fans that are here are standing and cheering and hoping that the Reds can nail this thing down. Well, you know, we like to stand and cheer for those that have stayed here this long tonight.
And we'd also like to stand and cheer for those of you at home who stayed with us all this time. Classic matchup right here.
Dunn waiting. And a fastball knee-high on the outside corner. You can't place it any better than that.
Well, that's one he'd like to have another look at.
3-1 on Adam Dunn. 2 outs in the ninth. Dunn got a pitch to hit right there and fouled it back over the screen. 95-mile-per-hour fastball.
Well, that is his spot, too. Adam Dunn loves it right there. Just couldn't get the bat around in time.
Two pitch. Strike 3 called, and the game is over. Dunn cannot believe it. He thought it was ball 4. Instead, the Reds celebrate a win to go to 11 games over 500 in a perfect ninth inning for Cordero. Cordero is 26th save, and Mike Leake the winner, now 7-1 on the year. So the Reds remain a half game behind St. Louis in the National League Central Division.
It's the first of 3 with Houston meeting the Cincinnati Reds. As the tight NL Central race comes to Minute Maid Park, the Reds are a game and a half behind the St. Louis Cardinals.
That ball roped into right field and in the seats off the bat of Joey Votto. Votto is 24th home run of the year, and the Reds have a 4-2 lead.
Well, he was up there last inning ready in case Votto came up. Votto did not, but now he does. So if the Birdman gets the call, nullify this tough left-handed hitter. And Joey Votto, a guy who hangs in there well against lefties, so he's tough on everybody.
Somebody got it right in the glove. Bouncer and on through past the diving Keppinger into right field. So Votto hangs in, and he reaches to open the 8th inning with his second hit of the night.
If you were protecting a lead in this situation, you might be willing to go left, right, left with your pitching. But still in a tie game, you get in the late stages of a tie game, you're not sure how long you're going to go, and you're hesitant to burn pitchers like that.
So that puts Gomes up against the lefty.
If this is the 8th inning, the Astros have a lead. Brandon Lyons probably in there regardless of what hand the hitter is.
He fouls it back. There's strike 1 to Johnny, who walked and scored in the 4th. He's 0 for 2. Burdak has not given up a run in his last 19 appearances, covering 11 and a third innings. Those consecutive scoreless appearances all season by an Astros reliever. Gomes hammers a line drive to left field. Carlos Lee over to play it, and there's a stop at second base and a throw back as he does play it to hold Votto to one base advanced on the single by Gomes. Looked like Votto would make third without much of a question, but Lee hustled over.
Well, that's just good base running to go hard, give yourself a chance to advance. If there's any kind of a misplay, and he's got the play right in front of him. So you can see Carlos get to the ball, and then he has time to scramble back. You don't ever want to be caught by surprise when somebody bobbles the ball or gives you an opportunity to take that extra base. Go ahead and go hard all the way, and then force them to make a play to stop you.
And Jay Bruce is 0 for 2.
You don't want to make that first out of an inning at third base, so caution the right play there by Votto.
Bruce is 1 for 5, a homer off Burdak in his career, the homer this season. But around to bunt this time, and lefty on lefty with Bruce struggling against lefty pitching. That's understandable that Dusty Baker would want him sacrificing here with 2 on and nobody out. Cairo coming up next. Mark Berry has signs.
Jay Bruce has exactly 0 sacrifice bunts this year. And that's the thing. Sometimes the situation calls for a sacrifice, but does the personnel? How comfortable, how experienced is he getting a bunt down?
Bruce, a .234 hitter against southpaws. It's a wide one, and it's 1-1. He's had 111 at bats against lefties this year. Yankees lead Kansas City 6-0 after a rain delay. They're now in the top of the 7th inning.
And that one is ripped fair down the right field line. And Joey Votto will score on a double by Jay Bruce. So he says, take that with a bunt.
Bruce, 5-4 Reds. Bruce was right on that pitch for his 22nd double of the year, giving him 39 runs batted in.
Bruce with the misplay earlier by not running Brandon Phillips off that ball in shallow right field, making up for it with this swing. About his second RBI of the night. The Reds setting up shop here, 2 more in scoring position.
Here's Stubbs of Texarkana, Texas. The infielders come in and he fouls it, strike one. He's 0 for 3. Chris Spire's a bench coach, and he was saying that Stubbs, who's 25 years old, could very well turn into a top of the lineup hitter once he's been around a little bit longer. But right now, the 7th spot fits well for him. He had 3 homers in 1 game this year.
He's an interesting player. You know, he's got power and speed. He's stolen 18 bases this year, 13 home runs. He strikes out a ton.
And that's the rub right now that prevents him from being at the top of the order. A good player for the Texas Longhorns. He had been drafted by the Astros from high school in Atlanta, Texas. He was a high school All-America. They failed to sign him, so he went back into the draft and was a first rounder in 06, the 8th player drafted that year. Fly ball to center. Bourgeois being chased way back and far back for the running catch. So it'll be a sac fly. And he gets the ball back in as it's 6-4 Reds on a deep drive by Stubbs for his 49th run batted in. Good play by Bourgeois.
Very good play by Bourgeois, and you get a sense of the power that Stubbs has. He reaches down on this curveball, and look at the finish with the hands, the way the hands release with that swing.
Pedro Feliz is coming up to pinch hit for Humberto Quintero. Bases loaded and 1 out. He delivered a huge pinch homer. Chicago up Ted Lilly to tie the game in the 8th on Wednesday 1-1. Astros going on to win it in the 12th.
And I think that's exactly the reason why Feliz is getting this at bat. You're going to have to bring Jason Castro into the game to catch that. So a lot of times you'll bring your pinch hit with the other catcher, and Castro being a left-handed hitter would be a prudent choice as well. But Feliz fresh off that pinch hit home run. Ryan Mills going to see if he can catch lightning in a bottle again.
1 for 9 as a pinch hitter this year. Ball one to Pedro. Pedro is 1 for 3 against Nick Massett in his career. Anderson Hernandez, a switch hitting infielder, just joined the Astros. He's in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot due up next.
The other thing Mills is considering, with Arthur Rhodes out there in the pen, if you go with Castro or Boyd here, you're going to get the lefty, and Rhodes having an all-star year.
Excellent point.
And Mills prefers this matchup.
Astros had 2 pinch hits from Feliz and Michaels in their Wednesday win. Breaking pitch, and it's a 1-2 count. Ball for swinging at it.
One of the winners initially didn't call it. You could tell by Pedro's reaction. He knew who went. It wasn't until they appealed that they got the call.
Now he fights for contact with the bases loaded. And on another breaking pitch, he did check that time. The appeal went to first again. 2-2 and a Brian Runge call.
Interesting battle going on here. Feliz just hoping to get a fastball in the strike zone. And if fact that he was able to check there and maybe buys himself a heater.
He's 2 for 7 with the bases loaded this year. And struck him out. 2 outs, and now Anderson Hernandez has been in the on-deck circle. And now Dusty Baker will go with the lefty Arthur Rhodes, it appears.
Some kind of an opportunity here as he comes in with the bases loaded. To face Arthur Rhodes as a veteran, this is kind of fun. Rhodes got an unbelievable start this year. For the longest time, had an ERA of 0. Hasn't been quite as sharp, but still the numbers overall are very good. So they're on their feet, they're dancing on the train. People are jacked up. And perhaps one swing away from a tie ball game.
Rhodes, quite a story, an all-star this year. 40 years old from Waco. All those major league appearances. And he makes the trip to Anaheim this year to represent the National League. Special time for Arthur Rhodes. Baltimore, Seattle, Oakland, Pittsburgh, bouncing around to Cleveland and Philly, Florida. Broken down roller. Janish at third with the throw to end the Astros 8th inning. No runs, 2 hits, 3 men left. 6-4 Reds after 8.
Well, this would be a fun way to start the homestand.
Oh, wouldn't it?
Lyle pop one here.
6 career walk-off homers. The last one June 3rd against Washington. He is 4 for 11 against Cordero. They could start the fireworks early. He did that here. They strike 1. Cordero's pitched 4 times this year against the Astros. He's given up 1 run, 3 2/3 innings. Another Pence on deck. Out to right center field. Sanchez tagging. Bruce in for the catch and throw to third. It's a strong arm on display. 2 outs. Hunter Pence has had 2 hits off Cordero this year. Now he gets a chance.
Well, he had been the man of the match so far. 4 out of 4. A home run, 3 driven in. Carlos had a good whack at this fastball, just a little bit behind it.
Temperature on deck. Wouldn't that be something if he did hit it over the fence to win this game? He is 4 for 12 lifetime against Cordero, including a long ball.
There in thought, working his way around the batter's box, trying to get inside the head of Cordero and Hannigan. How are they going to try to get me out? Started Carlos with a first pitch slider right on the outside edge.
To center field. Caught by Stubbs. All hit ball for the final out. And the Reds take the opener of this series. They've won 15 of their last 17 from the Astros. Joey Votto and company put the hits together with 2 in the 8th inning, and they break the tie to win it 6-4. Tonight, Roy could put his name atop the all-time Houston wins list, next to Joe Niekro with 144 career wins. 23 of Roy's wins have come against tonight's opponent, the Cincinnati Reds. Roy Oswalt and the Astros are next on Fox Sports Houston. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight it's game 2 of this 3-game series. The Houston Astros meet the Cincinnati Reds. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. The Reds won a tightly contested ball game last night, 6-4. Now we get to game 2, and a lot of excitement over this one, JD.
A chance for Roy Oswalt to make history, to tie Joe Niekro for first place on the all-time wins list for the Houston Astros. He goes up against the Cincinnati Reds, a club he has dominated in his career, 23-2 lifetime against Cincinnati.
Now it's Orlando Cabrera. Cabrera, 257, 3 homers, 35 runs batted in, had 2 hits last night, and scored a run. Takes the line drive into center field. So Cabrera's right on that one. And the Reds get their first hit.
You just got a pretty good idea of Roy Oswald's strategy here. Obviously, Phillips, as I mentioned, has very good numbers against him. So he has identified Phillips as a guy he's going to be a little more cautious with, certainly more so than Cabrera. So he worked Phillips hard in off the plate, threw him a lot of pitches, was willing to just pump one right down the heart of the plate to Cabrera. And Cabrera able to jump all over it.
Joey Votto had a big game last night with 3 hits, including a homer. 310, 24 homers, 65 driven in for Votto. Goes out of play. Joey tied Prince Fielder for the home run lead in the National League by hitting his 24th last night. He is 5th in runs batted in. Just having a marvelous year. Continues to lead the National League both in on-base percentage and slugging percentage. He's .296 for his career against Roy. This one goes to left field. Carlos Lee looking up, and he can't do anything about it. An opposite field 2-run homer for Joey Votto gives the Reds a 2-0 first inning lead. Votto's second career long ball against Oswald.
Well, Joey Votto plays in a very home run friendly ballpark. Minute Park is not necessarily a home run friendly ballpark, but it sure is cozy in left field, and Votto able to exploit it there off the bat. I thought this was just going to be a routine fly ball to left field. You see the angle of it as it leaves the bat. And as many games as I've watched in this ballpark, I still thought that ball's not going anywhere.
Yep. It was surprising. You're right. Uppercut swing. The ball carried.
Swung on. It is 3-0. What a way to come back behind the plate. He jumped on a 3-1 pitch and hit a rocket off the back wall.
His 4th home run of the season. And he had 2 bombs in one game at Cincinnati against the Astros back on May 29th.
And Hernandez is a guy who's pretty adept at driving the ball the other way, but he turned on this one. My goodness. This has not started well at all. 2 spot in the first single home run and then a double, and Roy was able to strand Nix after that 1-out double. The second inning gets off to a rough start, tries to hit the outside corner with a 2-seam fastball that drifts back over the plate.
3-0 Cincinnati. There's strike 1 for Roy Oswald here in the 3rd inning. Cabrera singled and rode home on the Votto 2-run homer in the 1st. And Roy Oswald has been such a battler against this club. I asked Jeff Plum about playing in these games against the Reds as Cabrera takes one to right field for a hit. A tough start, though, for Roy. We have not seen this much for him against this club, Jeff.
No, it was kind of strange seeing the balls hit that hard off him. You know, and normally he's doing a pretty good job of shutting down the Reds, but I haven't had a chance. You know, I was in the dugout, so I didn't see where the location of some of these pitches were, but they're definitely taking advantage of some of them.
Oh, they do have a good lineup.
Hernandez juiced that ball to left field.
Yeah, in a hurry.
Votto's was a Crawford box. And even with that, when it left the bat, it didn't look like he hit it that well.
Yeah, from down in the dugout, it didn't look like that.
It looked like it was just a lazy fly ball.
Votto, though, a strong candidate at this early point for MVP. Jeff, he really leaves nothing to be desired in his play, does he?
No, he's real good. Very disciplined to plate, and saw that ball going to the Crawford box. He obviously has power to all fields.
He lunged at one, and Roy can make a guy look sick.
Is that plate discipline comment again?
I mean, I'm gonna keep saying it for the Reds. I'm gonna take it back against us.
I think Roy right now is searching a little bit, because he has been so good this year. He hasn't been hit around like this, and he finds himself in a position where he's got to find a plan B or do something to upset the timing of these Reds hitters.
Soft line drive, yeah. He was reaching for it and found a landing zone for a single for Joey Votto on an 0-2 pitch.
Well, JD, pitching in the big leagues, I mean, you got a game plan. You got a game plan that you're going with, and the team makes the adjustment. It's how fast can Roy make the adjustment and get back to these guys?
Yeah, and this just speaks to how good a hitter he is. The eye-hand coordination to be able to stay back and go down and get that ball. That's
especially after that swing before.
Yeah, not a lot of guys are that good.
Lance Nix looks like he ought to be knocking somebody over with that build and nice compact swing too, Blummer.
Yeah, no reason not to be a catcher with this guy at the plate.
They strike 1 to Nix. What I like about baseball, the different body builds. You don't have to be sculptured to play this sport and play it well.
Oh yeah, former teammate David Wells was living proof of that.
Rich Garces, El Guapo.
Oh yeah,
I believe it.
We were talking about Casey Candell before you got up here too.
Mm-hmm.
A good example of a small guy who was an excellent player
and a great character. Good guy to have on a ball club.
Speaking of Casey, you and Casey, former Expos, and now Andre Dawson goes into the Hall of Fame tomorrow as an Expo. He wanted to go in as a Cub, but he was with the Expos a lot longer. Line drive. Smacked into right center field. A couple of runs are going to score on this one, and Nix has ripped another one. A 2-run double this time for Nix, second double of the game. That gives him 14 runs batted in and makes it 5-0.
We've seen Nix a lot over the years. When he first came up, I thought he was going to be a star. And you see guys when he's hot, and he's such a good athlete and he's so strong. Obviously, he hasn't turned out to be that kind of a player, but he's had a nice career. But for whatever reason, he sees Roy really well. And he's got great numbers against Roy and 2 doubles already tonight. And he smothered that ball.
Now 5-0. They have watched Johnny Cueto of the Reds shut out the Astros through 7, 6-0. He's allowed only 3 hits. The Astros have had 4 base runners, and none of them have been able to advance since reaching base. Cueto airing it out tonight. He'll face the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Astros here in the 8th inning. He has 1 complete game shutout this season. 100 pitches so far in this game.
And nobody has reached third base. Only 1 man in scoring position for the Astros tonight. He has a tendency to drop his elbow a little bit, and I think that will show the changeup a little bit. Hitters will recognize if it gets on top, comes over the top a little bit more of that changeup. It's a tougher pitch to recognize.
Strike 3 call. 2 outs. 6 pitches.
It's just a real nice job. If you think back to Michael's second at bat tonight, he was rung up on a 3-2 fastball down at the bottom of the knees. I'm sure Cueto's saying, all right, he's probably looking for that fastball again, and he throws a little backdoor breaking ball.
Strikeout number 6. Michael Bourne has struck out 72 times this year. Reds have outscored the Astros by a bunch in the season series, 55-22. One and 2.
One more off-speed pitches now. Getting a little creative out there.
Yeah, he sure is.
This is his high pitch count game for the year. So much for being sick.
The Reds are putting the pedal to the metal, as they say, in this tight NL Central race. Cap to third. And the throw by Yanish takes care of Sanchez. No runs. 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left through 8. It's 6-0 Reds. Yogi lines, many of which he did not say. Is that the home of the fork ball? American fork? Toward the left field corner.
I tried, Hunter.
Trying your best to avert a shutout. That's 2 outs now as Cueto has checked in with his 8 innings and 4-hit shutout ball with 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He's in line for win number 10. Ironically, the hard-hitting Reds, who lead the league in runs scored, have been shut out more than the Astros, 11-10.
Go figure.
Who could do that? Carlos Lee, 0 for 3 tonight. There's ball 1. Scott Rowland sitting out again with that hamstring injury. There's a likelihood we won't see him tomorrow either with a day game coming. Fly ball to right. And the Reds have waltzed into Minute Maid Park, and they have won their 5th consecutive game this season in this ballpark. They've now won 9 of their last 10 here in Houston. And overall, they have taken 16 of their last 18 meetings with the Astros. Johnny Cueto goes to 10-2. Beating Roy Oswald is 6-12 final. Cincinnati 7, Houston 0.
partly sunny day in Milwaukee, and we welcome you to Miller Park for the finale, the decisive game of this three-game series between the Reds and the Brewers. All right, hi again, everybody. Along with Chris, I'm Tom. The Reds trying to make it a 4-2 road trip. Last night, they finally flexed their muscles a bit. They didn't play long ball, but they bang out, matching a season-high 19 base hits.
You know, it's funny how this club goes, because they go a couple of games in a row and they get nearly shut out, and then all of a sudden the batting shoes get put on in the right spot, and everybody comes out swinging. Everybody except Johnny Gomes. He's the only guy that got left out of the party last night, but everybody else had a great night, 19 hits overall. And this is kind of like this team. You know, when they get the offense rolling a little bit, they can do this for a couple, 3 games in a row and really give Dusty Baker almost a day off from managing, because you score that many runs, it doesn't take much to nail down a W.
Brandon Phillips a rocket into right field, and that's a good way to get it started here in the Reds' 6th inning, down 2-0. Well, the Brewers have action in their bullpen, and man, it's been a bullpen. It's been on quite a roll. Really forget about a game last night. They used a lot of guys that generally they don't use in close games. Put the hit and run on here, and Cabrera swings and fouls it out of play. When they put in the guys that they like to use when they have a lead late in the game, it's been a very good group, including Cameron Lowe.
And it's really a group that has come on lately. Mostly young guys up there, new faces out there have made a major difference.
Narveson has only thrown 72 pitches in the game. Here's a 2-2 again on Cabrera. There goes Phillips. And it's taken down low. Throw to second, not going to be in time.
Picked a good pitch to go on, did Brandon Phillips. There was a curveball. You're just wondering, after fouling a fastball straight back, whether the battery duo of Narveson and Luke Croy would decide to go with a breaking ball. And oftentimes it's which pitch you go on, not necessarily how big a jump you have. Brandon gets a stolen base, and Reds can have the lead with a base hit here.
Three and 2, and it's ball 4 in the dirt, and now the first 2 are on for the second time in the last 3 innings. Well, now the heart of the order with 2 on and nobody out. Swing and a miss by Votto.
All right, so Narveson struck out Votto the first time up on a pretty good looking breaking ball.
Votto, meanwhile, is 12 out of 23 on the trip with 2 home runs and 4 knocked in.
You're going to fall too far behind, especially when there are 2 teams ahead of you.
Pulled into right field, a base hit. They will wave around Brandon Phillips. He will score. Cabrera goes to third, and the Reds now have made it a 2-1 game on another base hit and another RBI by Joey Votto.
How about Joey Votto making an adjustment in the at-bat on that curveball from Chris Narveson? He waits. And even though he doesn't have a lot of speed on that swing, he's able to find a hole on the right side. That second baseman pinched a little bit towards second. Ricky Weeks opening up the right side, and Votto finds a hole and drives a run in. What a year he's having.
Well, he comes in with first and third, nobody out. Tying run at third, lead run at first. And Johnny Gomes down a strike. There's a big at bat here for Gomes. And the Reds down a run. Gomes has not had a single RBI on a road trip. And of course, he has been pretty much money in the bank for most of this year when you put runners in scoring position. And it began with a single by Phillips. He stole second. Cabrera walked after getting behind 0-2. Phillips scores on a single by Votto, with Cabrera going to third. And now the 1-2 to Johnny. A bullet to just eat some McGee in the left field. And that'll bring in a tying run with Votto going first to third and Johnny in with a double. 2-2 game. We've seen some of the hardest hit balls I think I've seen all year long at third baseman in this game today.
I'll tell you what, Casey McGee's got to feel like he's a target in a shooting gallery today. Either whether somebody's sliding into him like Orlando Cabrera, or they're peppering shots right down the line. Bad hop right there. These balls are absolutely scalded down the third base line.
There's another rocket into left field, a 2-run double for Miguel Cairo. The Reds have scored 4, still nobody out to take a 2-run lead here in the 6th. And the beat goes on in what has just been an outstanding year for Miguel Cairo. Man, what a pickup he's been for the Reds.
A couple of hits on the afternoon, none bigger than this one, though. A little bit of a, looked like a fastball that was coming right in there. A little two-seamer right by Casey McGee. He's been diving to his right or his left or out of the way all day long.
Now Jay Bruce, still nobody out. Still nobody out in the inning. Single walk, single, double, double. Through 5 batters here in the 6th inning. 3-2 to Jay. And there's another base hit. They're going to hold up Miguel Cairo at third. And the Reds are teeing off on Milwaukee pitching in this 6th. Squeeze. And laying it down to perfection is Hannigan. How about that? And the Reds now lead it 5-2. You can't do it any better than that.
I think caught everybody by surprise right there. Figure they're just going to let Hannigan hit. Maybe he can get a ball into the outfield. But almost guaranteeing a run in. Definitely if you get the bunt down, and Ryan Hannigan does it perfectly. Johnny Gomes scores from third. 5 in the inning now.
Well, he carries a .366 batting average on the year. 15 hits and 41 at bats. Has knocked in 2. And Lee draws a walk. How about that? So they are now loaded for Brandon Phillips with nobody out. Reds with a chance to just kick in the door here in this inning. They have a 3-run lead. 3-1 account on Brandon Phillips. High and deep into left center field. Now that's doing it with the bases loaded. A grand slam for Brandon Phillips. The door has been kicked in Miller Park. That makes it a 9-2 ball game.
Being the way they had to throw a strike, got behind on him, nowhere to put him, and threw a fastball right down Broadway. And this is an absolute bomb. Brandon hits it to deep left field, hits it off of the slide that Bernie Brewer slides down to celebrate Brewer home runs. We'll take that. And they are running to the exits here at Miller Park like they're giving out bags of 20s in the parking lot.
In which case you and I'd be on our way out of here.
See you later, partner. Right up here and hits the slide.
That's a bomb, man.
Yes, it is.
That's one of the longest home runs I've seen in this show.
I think that's one of the longest home runs that Brandon has ever hit.
Yeah. That is a blast.
Man, oh man.
And he's shaking his head down there as if to say, yeah, I got it. Reds up 7 here in the top of the 8th inning. Votto in the air to left field. Braun drifting back. Goodbye, Joey Votto. His National League leading 26th home run. He's got 70 batted in. 4 hits last night, 3 more today from Joey Votto.
And we got to figure that at least half of Joey Votto's home runs have come the other way. Little breaking ball, he stays back on it and drives it just enough to get it out of here. Logan Andrusic got his first 2 this last week.
And that's the old ball game. Travis Wood, the front 5, allows 2 runs, and again the bullpen just lights out. 4 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball in a 10-2 Cincinnati Reds and the Atlanta Braves.
And hi again, everybody. Alongside Chris Welsh, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball. Chris, does it get any better than this? Sellout crowds tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday.
Well, here we are in the concourse, Tom. I tell you, we've had sellout crowds this year before, but it seems like for all the wrong reasons. A bobblehead night, maybe some fireworks, a giveaway of one kind or another. Tonight, a sellout for all the right reasons.
And the right reasons being this is a matchup of division leaders, Chris, for the first time since 1995. The Reds are in first, hosting another team in first at the end of July.
That's why the excitement. You've got standing room only tickets maybe available for tonight. I don't know about that. The question is, how are both the ball clubs going to react to this? Are they going to play like it's a playoff atmosphere game, or is it going to be just another game? But you know what? No matter what the managers say, no matter what the coaches try to tell them to say, they're going to look up in the stands. They're going to feel the excitement, the energy, the electricity of this ball game, and they're going to play like this is a playoff-type ball game. This is the way it ought to be this time of year here, right here in Cincinnati.
So they're ready to roll out here on the concourse. They're jam-packed inside the ballpark.
All righty, here we go. The young left-hander, Johnny Venters. I mean, the numbers, Chris, they do not lie. 50 innings, 51 strikeouts. He has walked 23, has not given up a home run. League batting 170 against him. Many wonder, being used at this kind of rate, if this southpaw can hold up. 45 games now he's been brought into. They'll face Joey Votto to begin the inning. High fly ball into left center field. And this game is tied. Joey Votto. Joey Votto. He says, Johnny who?
Johnny meets Joey.
How clutch has this guy been? I mean, it's just indescribable the kind of year Joey Votto is having. The numbers are there. Anybody can look up the numbers. But to see when they have come,
he doesn't wait long to see anything he's got in his repertoire except that first pitch fastball. A high fly ball that barely makes it into there, but it's all right.
Throwing the breaking ball, and that's the old ball game. Atlanta wins it, final count of 6-4. So the Braves will pick up a game on Philadelphia in the National League East. We'll have to wait and see what happens as the Cardinals had a lengthy rain delay. Their game just got underway. They're only in the second inning. scoreless against the Pirates. Votto flexing their muscles in the opening game of this series. Jason Hayward and the Braves coming out on top in Game 1. We welcome you to sold-out Great American Ballpark in downtown Cincinnati, a weekend series between the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds, and both teams with playoff aspirations. Atlanta gaining a game on Philadelphia in the East last night, a 3.5-game advantage, and the Reds slip a half game behind St. Louis in the Central. And hi again, everybody. Alongside Kevin Millar, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Baseball on Fox. Joey Votto, Jason Hayward, two of the real bright young stars in the game today.
I'll tell you right now, Joey Votto last year went through a lot, losing his father. He is mentally where he needs to be. Tremendous player, probably your MVP candidate right now. And Jason Hayward, you can't swing a bat faster than he does through that zone. God has blessed him with tremendous bat speed and tremendous talent. These two guys are fun to watch.
Both of them big parts of the ball game here last night, a game won by Atlanta. The final season under Bobby Cox, can they get back to the playoffs? In Cincinnati, Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto and company trying to lead this club to the postseason for the first time since '95. Game 2 next on Fox. And now the sprint player first for Joey Votto, the Cincinnati Reds. This young Canadian born and raised Red slugger, what an unbelievable year he is having. Leads the National League in batting average, leads the National League in home runs. He's first in on-base percentage, first in slugging percentage. It's hard to imagine, Kevin, if the vote were today, and clearly it's not, 2 full months left in the year. It's hard to believe you could even make an argument for somebody else winning the MVP award than Joey Votto.
You really can't. I mean, I want you to watch his head, though. It does not move. And there's only been 2 hitters that I can really think of right now that Manny Ramirez would be a guy. But you can see this guy is first in the National League in HR's average and on-base percentage and slugging percentage, but basically has carried this ball club and put them on the map. I mean, offensively, he is, to me, the most feared hitter in the National League. And that's, I know it's a big step because everybody out there is going, what about Albert Pujols? Not taking anything away from Albert. But this left-handed hitter right here is scary.
Scary good indeed. You see his numbers with runners in scoring position. He has Cabrera at second. And looks at a breaking ball in the outside corner. The last player in the National League, by the way, to lead the league in batting average, slugging percentage, and on-base percentage, Barry Bonds. In 2004.
How was he?
He wasn't too bad. And that one is lofted into right field. A base hit. They're going to wave around Cabrera. Here comes the throw to the plate by Hayward. The slide, and he is out at the plate. A perfect throw by Hayward.
It's to close the gap. But, you know, we feel like we're going to get things rolling again.
Well, Rowland is rolling right now. It's a 2-1 game. And in vintage Scott Rowland fashion, there's no standing and watching. It's sprinting around the bases.
Right there, you got a hitter's count. You got 2-0 fastball. And that was right down the middle. Scotty went down and got it. I'll tell you right there, that's a ball player. You can see him just bring his hands inside that baseball and find the barrel of the bat. What a nice shot that is right there. You can see the ball almost dent for Scotty's 18th homer.
Line into left center field. Cabrera over to try and cut it off. Rowland, an extremely aggressive base runner, will go to second. For a guy who doesn't run all that well, I don't know if I've ever seen a better base runner than Rowland. Am I off base there?
You're exactly right. But right here, you can see him take this fastball once again down the middle of the plate, puts it in the gap where it's supposed to go. And the one thing about Rowland, like you just said, tremendous instincts on the bases. Nobody runs the bases better than him. Always going first and third. But you can see right there that swing. Boy, is that sweet right there.
The late great coach of the Philadelphia Phillies, who was so instrumental in Roland's career, John Vukovich, said Roland was the best base runner he has ever seen.
Ball's in the dirt, he's gone. First to third, he's gone. Tagging from second like last night we saw him get to third base. Those are little things that win baseball games. It's not that hard to be a student of the game when you're a player. And Scott Rowland is a student of base running. You don't have to have speed. People think you got to be really fast to be a good base runner. No, there's no reason why when you take your lead at first, check in for the catcher sign. If it's a 1-2 pitch and you see him there calling a breaking ball, you're ready for the ball in the dirt. Little things that help win baseball games.
So now the tying run at second. A quick visit to the mound by McCann. A 1-0 count with one out to Johnny Gomes, who for most of this year has led the National League hitting with runners in scoring position. There have been a lot of good players on this Cincinnati team this year, but in situations like this, Gomes has been their most lethal hitter.
And that tells a lot right there about Johnny. I mean, he really bears down in these situations, and that's a big positive. You're going to free swing and nobody on base trying to go deep, but you can see just on his takes, those first two pitches, he's looking for a pitch in his zone.
3-1 on Johnny Gomes, and it's a base hit into right field. Now Rowland had to wait to see if it would get through, so they hold him at third. And Johnny Gomes has put the tying run at third, and he represents the go-ahead run at first. Rowland had to make sure that line drive was not caught. It's got to be a tough angle as a base runner, Kevin, at second.
No doubt. You can see right here, he has to freeze, but Johnny Gomes takes the fastball 3-1 right to right field. Didn't try to do too much with it. The pressure's on the pitcher right here, Tommy. And I think sometimes as hitters we go up there and the game gets real fast in these situations. Right here, Jay, the more experience, the game will slow down.
And he bounces one through the hole into right field. Gomes will slam on the brakes as Hayward got to it quickly, and it's a 2-2 game.
Once again, right here, the replay, you got first and third, so the boss has got to hold on the runner, and Jay Bruce did a nice job right here finding that hole and pulling the baseball right through that hole. See that ball tailing away? He just got it through that hole and ties this ball game up. We got a ball game now, Tommy. If you're Scott Rowland, you might sit on the breaking ball. He's a good breaking ball hitter.
And it's in the air, driven to left center field, and this is what we were talking about with Hannigan. He will drive in two to give Cincinnati the lead, and then the ball gets away from the center fielder Cabrera, and Hannigan's going to score. Cabrera went to throw the ball, and it slipped out of his hands. Take a look at this.
Looked like a wet bar of soap right there. If you've ever tried to throw a wet bar of soap in the shower, that's exactly what it looks like right there. Unbelievable. And look at Ryan right there. Almost out of gas. Safe. Boy, did this place just get loud.